How's it going, everybody? Welcome to NIGHTCAP for February 4th, 2022. Suspended from YouTube edition. So, just in case anybody wants to know, any regular viewers, I have a 7-day suspension from YouTube. So, nothing's going to be going on YouTube until Thursday. I got the suspension notice on Wednesday night while I was furiously trying to finish up an edit on the on a new Zoobox Goes to the Library / Goes to the Movies, all about Norm Macdonald. And I got an email about an old stream that I did. And I got a suspension because of it. Hey, what's going on, Toronto? You see Hagbard in the chat with the Slee Stack. What's going on, boys? Yeah, so we're going to be doing it on D-Live tonight, D-Live Monday. Probably do, I guess, YouTube next Friday. We may have to change some things in terms of archives of old episodes. We may have to put the archives up, like the full archive, like maybe on Odyssey, and just put like clips on YouTube. So if you happen to miss an episode and you want to go back and watch it, then they might just end up on Odyssey. You don't have these kind of problems. You don't have these kind of fucking problems over on Odyssey. My God. What stream was it? It was a stream from about a month ago. January 7th, the day after the 6th, it was called, is when we talked about Tim Pool getting swatted. And then we talked about January 6th, the dreaded January 6th. And if you deviate at all from the official talking points, well, that's misinformation. It was labeled as misinformation. And the thing with YouTube and all social media platforms, all services like YouTube, they don't have to tell you why. And they don't. They don't give you like any timestamps. They don't give you anything. And I appealed it pretty quickly. And within maybe 5 minutes, they got back. They got back to me, and they were like, no, it was rejected after a thorough review by a person. So I have a sneaking suspicion that the video probably got flagged by somebody. We do have some newer viewers. Also, we did get into it with vegan activists, and it happened a day after I kind of was going back and forth with the guy in the comments on the debates. If you go to the debate, I was going back and forth with the dude in the comments, and he was just kind of spamming like any video that had anything to do with the debate. He started just spamming his talking points, basically. So that's a possibility. Also, it could have just been like, the algorithm, stuff like that. Slow moving at times. It's good enough to block us if we're trying to watch a fucking TED Talk, but not so savvy when it comes to the hard work of insurrectionism. Trami says, oh my God, no! You insurrectionist, you. I know. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I'm one of these fucking people? God damn. I thought we were safe. Hagbard says, vegan spamming, Shaun, please. Fair enough. It's just the same thing they do. They say the same 5 things over and over again, and then the guy just like copy and pasted factoids. He didn't leave links. He just had the factoids there from all of these government agencies that they only trust when the data supports what they already think. Yeah, it's great stuff. Trami says to Hagbard, the irony cuts deep, although not sure there's meat in spam. Oh, I think there's at least meat byproduct in there. Definitely meat byproduct, I'd have to say. So tonight we got another shadow-produced episode. This was supposed to be for next week, but I wanted to do a follow-up on some transracial people we had talked about in the past, especially one guy, Nuka Zeus, but he went and deleted most of his videos. So what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to go and kind of scour the internet. He did a few interviews. He did one with Vlad TV, who are very litigious on YouTube. Like they block your shit like immediately. But we'll get back to him, get back to the transracial stuff probably next week. So we're going to have a nice light one tonight. We're going to talk about merfolk. Talk about mer people. If the opening song wasn't enough, talk about the merfolk. Trami says, transracial, like those twins who want to be black. Yes, there's a guy, his name is Nuka Zeus. I covered him like a long, long time ago. that injected a type of like suntan element into his body, into his skin, so that he would darken faster. And he lives his life as a black man. And there's a lot of funny stuff in there. Although, I'm not sure though. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to find his archives. Like, he nuked most of his channel, no pun intended. He nuked most of his channel. It's like not a lot of videos. Not a lot of videos because he did things. He talked about everything. Every step of the process. Also just what the life of being a black man in America through his own prism. And why he found parity with that community. Why he felt like he was black. All that stuff is gone. So I have to go through and try to dig a little deeper and see if I can find some other stuff. I know some other people had covered him in the past. He was kind of a meme for a hot minute. But we got to keep up with the memes. We got to see what they're doing. Prophet says Murphy, like RoboCop? I wish we were just watching RoboCop. Watch all those Canadian productions, all the Prime Directive movies. So this one is inside one of the world's largest mermaid conventions, Fantastic Weekend. This is from ABC News. They went in there and did a little Nightline expose. So we're going to see what the deal is. I almost did it again. I almost had myself muted again. Can you believe that? Trami says, RoboCop sees no race. He'll shoot you in the dick regardless. Exactly. The guy's just about justice. He doesn't care about doesn't care about the color of your skin. He's not out there racially profiling. He's out there criminal profiling, okay? That's what old Murphy's doing. All right. See what we got. See what's on offer.
Conventions are traditionally rather boring staid affairs. One thinks of people peddling new auto parts, insurance policies, or caskets. Tonight, though, we're going to take you to the Mermania Mermaid Convention. Here's my Nightline co-anchor, Juju Chang.
I refuse to believe that's his real name. Juju Chang? Oh, my God.
No shirt? No shoes? No
Come on and get in this pool. That's what we say.
problem. Welcome to NC Mermania 2017. Hi. Yep, this is a mermaid convention. Merfolk, both amateurs and pros, diving in for a weekend of fun, flair, and fins.
Being a mermaid means being the bridge of fantasy and reality.
From underwater posing workshops to offbeat modes of transportation.
Here we go, back to the big pool.
These diehards are making waves, wowing in tales that can cost up to $5,000, all brought together by a shared, albeit unique, hobby. It was Daryl Hannah who first made a splash.
What are you doing?
You know, I think I avoided like a lot of the mermaid like fetishism in my life because I don't find Daryl Hannah very attractive. Which I know, hey, it may be sacrilege to some of you guys, but I've just never, Daryl Hannah's never really done it for me. So I avoided all sorts of weird stuff, you know? You know?
Going, sweetheart?
Taking a bath?
Can I come in?
No!
Then it was Ariel's turn as the Little Mermaid.
Under the sea.
Okay, now I got to take this back. I definitely had a thing for the Little Mermaid. I definitely had a thing for Ariel. But, you know, we get to see her as a person. We get to see her as a human being. Hagbert says, bocce balls, a naked lady. Or bocce balls, rather. Trami says, no, I don't get Daryl Hannah either. Yeah, just something I just never... I mean, I think she's a good actress. She's been in a few of my favorite movies. One of them being Blade Runner.
Under the sea.
Now it's Hannah Burgess, who says for her, it's about pushing fun and fantasy.
These are one of my favorite part of my room. They are handmade by me, jellyfish lanterns.
We met the 21-year-old art and design student at her college in Virginia.
This is fish netting that I...
It's like, do you ever wonder what happened to pageant kids when they grow up? They become professional LARPers, you know? They like the live action role play on the weekends. I suppose, you know, if you grow up with that kind of stuff, you're going to want to continue it on into your adult years. This is very furry adjacent, right? These people might as well be furries. A little bit nicer to look at, though. I'll give them that. I'll give the mer people that. I'll give the merfolk that. Usually they're keeping it pretty tight.
I got to actually make tops with.
Although hours away from the ocean, she's found a way to bring the sea to her.
Here is a jar of sand from the Outer Banks, which I collected myself. This room is kind of like my mermaid grotto.
Dubbed Nova Siren, the Virginia mermaid, Hannah teaches and performs nationwide, making a splash online with 20,000 Instagram
20,000 Insta followers. Oh my God. Hagbard says, you know who else were Virginia art and design majors? Guar. Actually, I did know that. I did know that little interesting factor. And the reason I knew it was kind of a roundabout way. There was a comedy troupe from Virginia called Teenagers from Uranus, and they hooked up with Guar for some of their comedy sketches. Actually, very, very, very funny stuff. Hagbard says Guar greater than mermaids. I would agree with that for sure. Mermaids don't have giant monster cocks that they spray you with.
followers. But she's quick to acknowledge that it's an uncommon gig.
A lot of people really don't understand what I mean when I say I'm a mermaid. I know I'm a human, but I just really enjoy dressing up as a mermaid and entertaining children, swimming in coral reefs, and just doing really special things that not a lot of people get to do.
On this day, Hannah is
It's basically the same thing as like if you worked at an amusement park. If you worked at Disney and you were like, well, when I tell people I'm a princess, they don't really know what to make of it. Tarami says, so I need to find a mermaid futanaris, you're saying? I don't know what that is, Tarami. You got me there.
packing for the annual mermaid convention. And let's just say the dress code is very specific.
This one was custom made for my measurements, and I picked the paint job and all of that. And so this one cost me $2,100. The star.
Honestly, that's less than I thought it would be. I thought it would be more than that. It's kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, it's like they're just like cosplayers. They're cosplayers. You could just say you're a cosplayer. You don't gotta like. Although this is very specific cosplay. If it's the only one you do. Travi says futanari is a Japanese word for chicks with dicks. Good to know. Thank you for that. I know I can stick that in the old my old cap. Stick that feather in my cap. Take it with me for the rest of my life. Thank you, Tarami.
Fish are made out of silicone too, and it's very glamorous. It has a lot of sparkly things on it.
She's set and ready for what promises to be a fantastic weekend.
Do you think like all of the other mermaids, like when they go to these places, wherever it is that they perform as mermaids, do you think that they judge each other? Like, oh, did you see Karen? Did you see what she was trying to get away with? You see those fins? Do you see those fins? Trash. I bet she didn't pay more than $800 for them. Trash. Trami says, I'm glad I could enlighten you. Well, thank you. I do appreciate it. Prophet says, I'll say it again. COVID ain't working hard enough.
They say it's better under the sea, and these guys really mean it.
Being underwater is an extremely exhilarating feeling. Your adrenaline is pumping and you're kind of scared, but also partly being relaxed and enjoying the fact that you're underwater.
Here at one of the largest mermaid gatherings in the world, we meet Chris Obraki, an actor turned merman who's been part of this community for the past 4 years.
I would call a professional.
He's like, the paychecks kept coming, and I was like, ooh, goddamn. He can't even be a butch merman. Like, he can't be like King Trident. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's got to be butch mermen. There's got to be. There's butch ballerinas. I know we all like to say, like, well, that's very feminine. That's very girly. Well, guess what? Being a ballerina is tough stuff. Most of those guys, very straight. Very straight. I guarantee you there's got to be somebody at this place in the mer community that's very butch. Big Paul says, no way, see those tits? Well, I saw some flappage. I definitely saw a little flappage, a little flabbiness. But that could be just, I don't know, all the time he spends in the water.
Mermaid, a giver of dreams. Go get that dream. Go be you.
Chris says a big
Yeah, this guy could do a couple crunches. Like, if you're gonna be a fucking merman, if you're gonna do it, like, dude, just, you know, a couple sit-ups, a couple push-ups, you know? You don't want to embarrass yourself out there.
motivator for him is upping the image of men in the merfolk industry.
I want to create a world for them, or at least help create a world for them where they don't have to be afraid. I was picked on in school for my love of the ocean. When I set out to be this character, I wanted to make it a safe haven for other men and just be a role model and be an inspiration for them and break down as many doors as I possibly could.
Yeah, thank you for doing this hard work, taking it upon yourself. You know, he's making me feel okay about my body, though. I'll say that. This is body positivity right here. You know what I mean? Maybe he's doing us a service. Prophet says, truth be told, I'd smash that mer girl. I'd feed her to my turtle, if you know what I'm saying. Hagbert says, there's that folk word again. Oh, yeah, they're all over the place. It's all folks. Prophet says, this dude was picked on in school. No fucking way.
Just what I do. It's my job, and it's the job that I wanted to do. And I just keep, to quote Dory from Finding Nemo, I just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
It's just an amazing feeling to know that I've made an impact on.
Like, where does like interest in a subject, like how does it turn into something like this, where it's like this all-consuming thing? Like, I have interest in lots of things. I don't know if I have one that's so all-consuming. Well, I mean, I'm a big movie nerd. I did want to be a filmmaker in my youth. So maybe is this some sort of equivalence to that? I mean, come on now. I feel like maybe it's just my old-fashioned way of thinking. I'm just an old man. I don't get it. Trauma says, how is obsession born? Trauma, typically. Yeah, maybe he got raped on a boat. And that's how he took his mind off of the rape, was that he looked out to the ocean and thought of the mer people. Hagbert says, Dr. Dobek wanted to be a dinosaur. Well, I think we all probably wanted to be a dinosaur at one point. There's got to be dinosaur people like this, right? There has to be.
A lot of people in this business, and people that are looking to join the business. So it's wonderful. It's very overwhelming.
300 participants from around the globe have traveled to this meetup to socialize. Check out.
Think about how filthy that water is. Good God, 300 people in a pool that size? You know, and they're not going to the bathroom. Like, how are they going to the bathroom? They're fucking pissing in the water. You know they are. They're wearing goddamn fucking mermaid fins. Probably a pain in the ass to get in and out of. For shame. For shame.
Out the latest gear.
These are our $3,000 silicone tails.
And to attend seminars about all things mermaiding.
Know what you're wearing and what you're doing underwater.
Husband and wife duo Amanda and Joseph Kaiser are coaching these students on how to strike a pose while submerged.
Yeah, there it is.
Taking them from classroom to pool to test their moves.
This reminds me of like the guys that would work as like animal movement experts in movies. I remember when Tim Burton did his version of Planet of the Apes, and I bought the DVD when I was a kid, and I remember watching the behind the scenes, and they had a guy who was like the ape movement expert, and he got like super into it. It's kind of like that, but for kind of no reason. Trauma says his dad was always at sea trying to put food on the table, and he ended up fetishizing the ocean until he became the object of his father's desire. Good call, Tarami. If only he could be a fish, maybe his father would have tried to catch him. Spend time together.
Hannah, the veteran, stunning in these underwater shots.
And I learned a whole
I don't know, guys. That looks a little touched up. That looks like a little bullshit. If you're going to go through the trouble of doing all this, just fucking give me the real shot. Show me the water. This looks like it could be completely done, and it could be completely done in Photoshop. Like, you didn't have to be in the water to do it. Show me that atmosphere. Show me the bubbles. You know, show me the bubbles. Hagbert says, I base all simian movements upon Clyde, the orangutan. Trami says his dad put that relationship on ice. Shit.
learned a whole lot about breath control, buoyancy, and things like that. And we had some good laughs while we looked at some of the candid photos. So it's been really fun.
Hannah says
She's like, I farted in a couple of them, and you could totally see the bubbles. Prophet said, I'd swim upstream to spawn all over her. I could see her. She's at the top of the stream, sitting beautifully on a rock, like Little Mermaid style. The waves are crashing, and there's just Prophet just trying to get there. Oh, come on. Just let me. I want to release. I want to release for you, baby. Come on now. Take these eggs. Take these eggs. Big Paul says, buoyancy on that ass.
her mermaid obsession began as a child, like many here, watching Ariel in action.
Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free. Wish I could be part of that run.
Trami says, Prophet is on a cliff yet higher up, yanking it. That's what he does afterwards, because he has to circumvent, he has to find a new path. The new path sends him too far upstream, but by that time he's tired. He's tired. So he's just kind of try to get it out and spray it into the wind and just hope that God does the rest. Prophet says, see, it always goes back to Disney. That's what they said. I remember a long time ago, the first time I watched furry videos, that was one of the things that they cited, was the anthropomorphic animals from Disney movies. Robin Hood, The Jungle Book, etc. Prophet says Lion King is the only good Disney movie. It's definitely one of the better ones. I'll say that. There's some okay 80s ones though. The Sword in the Stone, maybe. There's a few others. A few other like off the beaten path Disney movies. The Burner says now I got to do a tribute video to Little Mermaid. Oh, you're talking about the cum tribute. Yeah, you got to print out a picture, you throw it on the floor, and then you get your camera, your phone ready, and then you just blast on it, and then you send it to whoever, you've given the tribute to. That'd be good stuff. Hagbard says Black Cauldron. Yes, that's one of the ones I was thinking of, Black Cauldron as well.
When I was a child, I would actually put both of my legs inside one pant leg in my leggings when I was a kid and have diving flippers, and I would go in hotel pools and public pools and swim like that.
And now
And after 6 years of therapy, my therapist found me this occupation.
able to share her passion with other young kids growing up with a taste for fantasy.
Who do you think you are? Cried the rainbow fish.
While some might find it odd, Hannah says at its core, the convention is about bonding with friends.
Everyone who comes here has the same love for mermaids and the same love for the water, and we really understand each other, and we understand the commitment and creativity that it takes to be a mermaid or a mermaid.
They just want to have like a reverse part of that world song. Instead of singing about what's up above the sea, what's outside of the water, they're singing about what it's like to be down there in the dark with the who's-its and what's-its.
Man. And so I've made so many friends that I can truly say they are my best friends.
Friendships that go a little deeper, both above and below the surface. For Nightline, I'm Juju Chang in New York.
I'm Juju Chang in New York. Thank you for stopping by the Merfolk. Okay, so we got another video. This one's a little shorter. The life of a professional mermaid. Ooh, this person's got their own channel though. We may dip in. We may dip in a little bit. Because I think there's some here that we don't. My life as a mermaid, how to become a professional mermaid. Okay, we got some action. Some hot fuck action to the max, Jack.
For me, being Vero Beach Mermaid is so much more than just what it seems. It's about connection. And through this process, I have met the most amazing people, traveled and collaborated on some pretty crazy stuff.
All right. All right. All right. you see that and you're like, if say this was your lady, right? Say this was your lady. Hold on, I'm blocking her face a little bit. My apologies. This is your lady. I feel like you put up with it. I feel you're like, yeah, sure, you could be a mermaid. Why not? Yeah, get out there. Hey, it's your passion, right? It's your fucking passion, right? Hagrid says, but how many sailors has she lured to their deaths? I would say at least 50. At the very least 50. The very least.
Life is really short, and I've learned that everyone's not going to understand you and why you do what you do, but you should do it.
She's like, especially my mom and my aunt Deborah. Trami says, I support my wife.
And you should live it to the fullest.
Look at her go. She's free. Oh, now we're sad. Domesticated, out of the water. How does she hold her breath so long? Hagbert says onlyfans.com /fish bitch.
To me, you prove that mermaids do not only have to be photographed, but can be photographers too. And as a photography student, it's very empowering to know that you don't only have to be one thing. You can be so many things together. You can be so good at so many things.
Like, why do they always do this? They always make like, okay, this could be like a cool little thing that you do. Like, it's interesting. It's how you make a living. You become a model in this very specific niche thing. But they always have to broaden it out. How it's like this very powerful statement. Like, it's like some sort of spiritual movement. It's like, oh, I guess, my time in my life spent, scraping animal shit and working on pipelines. That was very spiritual for me. Very spiritual for me. This idea that I could give back to mankind in such a profound way. Prophet says, nobody show these people a house of 1,000 corpses. Fish boy. I see it, Paul. All right. All right. Trami coming in with a correction. Folk kind, Shaun. You're right. You're not wrong. Hold on. Big Paul, is this something I can show on stream? Something you said? I guess I'll find out in a second. Hold on.
Pearl Beach Mermaid inspires
Oh, you're good, Trami. That's part of the fun. It's Friday night. D-Live is for the boys.
me to be myself, be creative, and not care what anyone says about being a mermaid or judging me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for telling me so I didn't just throw it up on stream. Oh, I know what it is. Okay.
Pearl Beach Mermaid is a very positive, down-to-earth, happy, sweet type of girl, and she inspires me to feel my happiest and go for my dreams.
Her bravery of being a mermaid, a merfolk model, okay? That inspired her. Now she feels like she can do anything. And that's why she got into STEM. If it wasn't for these merfolk, she would never have become an astronaut. She would never have even thought that she could reach for the stars. She's like, well, if these people can reach for the bottom of the ocean, why shall I not reach into the firmament? Oh yeah. Okay, so we're definitely going to check out this chick's channel a little bit. Oh yeah. I want to follow her on her journey. Are they all? So she's active too. She's an active poster. She has videos up to a month ago. Although not a lot of action on a lot of these videos. Becoming a mermaid freediver. Couples become mermaid freedivers. Mermaid swims to next cruise ship. So a lot of it's just like, action stuff. Boyfriend does my makeup. Finfolk. Okay, so this is the correct nomenclature. Finfolk. Finfolk. Mermaid answers your questions. Yes. Yes. Give it to me now, Ariel.
Part 3.
Oh, goodness. She's a cutie patootie. Like, you can say what you want about her lifestyle choices. She's a cutie patootie. Like I said, I'd probably put up with it. I'd probably be like, okay, fine. Fine. Hybrid says for a video title, Mermaid gets caught in boat propeller. Big Paul says, Merfolk, I studied these fucks. Well, I think maybe there's some interchangeable stuff, or maybe, for all we know, maybe there's divides in the community. Some people that take it a little more seriously than other. You know, we're Finfolk. Oh, who's that? Oh, that's my Finkin. That's my Finkin over there. I thought it was your husband. Yeah, my Finkin.
Mermaid Q&A. Hey guys, I am back with part 3 of my Mermaid Q&A because you guys just keep coming up with such good questions, and every time I feel like I've...
Doubt. Insert doubt meme. Trauma says, oh no, the Finfolk Merfolk schism. It's anti-species, Paul says. Didn't you listen to Nico the Vegan? Well, Nico the Vegan only cares about species of animals that he can project his own feelings into. He doesn't really care about things that don't look cute, right?
I've answered them all. I do an Ask Me Anything on Instagram, and I get a bunch that I don't think I've ever answered. So I thought I would make another video, part 3, Mermaid Q&A. So here we go. We're going to start here.
Hagbard asks, is Mermaid vegan? This would be an excellent question to ask beautiful Ariel. No. No, they're not vegans at all. In fact, they might have a taste for human flesh.
Here with Sea Opal the Murrin. Sorry if I say these names wrong, you guys. Some of them are a little hard for me. Favorite tail that you have and tail maker?
Yes, thank you, Hagbard.
Great question.
Thank you for the correction.
My silicone tails are made by House of Mer. However, my favorite tail maker, the one that has been just kind of my tail maker dream my whole life, is Finfolk. And Finfolk is who I have my fabric tails from. And this year I will be getting a silicone tail from them. So I'm really, really excited. But there's a lot of different tail makers that I love and a lot of different styles that I admire. Andrew Zelaya, so bad. Not your name. Your name's not so bad. My pronunciation.
Oh, no, we heard you. We heard you. You think that human beings have weird names. Just own it. Just own it, sister.
Any advice for anyone thinking of becoming a merman? I'm kind of scared others will judge me. Okay, they will. There are going to be so many people that judge you, but the way that I like to say it is there will probably be more people that support you. And you only live once, so to not do things because of the percentage, probably smaller percentage of people that might judge you, is so not worth missing out on something you would love. I get made fun of for being a mermaid all the time. I get made fun of online. I get made fun of by people.
Who would do something like that? Who would do that? Real sick fucks out there, guys. Real sick fucks. I'm glad that she's here with NIGHTCAP where we can protect her. We can protect her.
People who are supposed to be kind of close to me in my life. Luckily, none of my family has been, they've all been super open and just loving, and I was raised to just be whoever I wanted to be, luckily, so it's not surprising to my family that I'm a mermaid, I don't think.
But what is there to make fun of? You're a model. You're a model who does mermaid modeling. Unless there's something deeper. I mean, I guess for them, because it seems a little like an obsession, like a furry. Like a furry. This is the same kind of reactions that like a furry would have. We're watching like a furry Q&A, except for merfolk.
But I know for other people that can be a little bit surprising, and I just say go for it. And our community is really supportive. There's a lot of us, so be around people that get you. Alexandra the Mermaid asks, are you a freshwater or saltwater mermaid? Another good question. I'm both. I love all waterways. I grew up in Wisconsin on a...
So she doesn't care. She doesn't care. She's like, no, just whatever makes me wet. Big Paul says, no, Shaun, it's a lifestyle. Does certainly seem that way, just like the furries, just like hardcore furries. Hagbert says she's bi.
Beautiful spring-fed lake. So 20 years fresh water. However, I was born in Florida. I love them both. In general, I much prefer to be in the ocean if it's clear. However, I love the springs because they're always clear. So I'm definitely both all the way. Elizabeth Girl, how do you keep your hair looking so clean even if you are in salt water? I get this question a lot. I have a couple of different things that I do for my hair. Essential oils
and cum tributes. Fill up your jars, boys. Send them in.
And coconut oil are my best friend. I lather up my hair every single day with both. So after I shower, I always put tons of coconut
Hagrid's like shampoo.
oil and essential oils. The essential oils I use are peppermint, rosemary, cedarwood, lavender, and I put a couple of drops in my hand with a ton of coconut oil, sometimes argan oil, some of the other thicker oils, and I just make this protective mask.
You know, I'll say this. Listen, she doesn't have to do a ton of work to achieve her look. So there's not a ton of makeup going on. Hey, whatever you're doing, lady, I support it. I support you. The burner says she lathers up with my seed.
Whenever I'm gonna go diving or go do stuff in the salt water with my hair, I always put a ton of oil into my hair to kind of create a barrier between the water. If you close the follicles of your hair, they won't be so open to absorb things like the salt water, which can obviously be very harmful for color too. That's pretty much all I do. I don't normally do any heat. I almost always, with the exception of right now, because I just filmed some stuff and I did my hair for once, but normally I always let my hair air dry and I put tons of oil in, scrunch it a little bit, and then it's just really kind of curly, messy beach wave. Or I put a ton of oil in and then I braid it. Those are the two ways that I protect it. However, everyone's hair is different, so not washing your hair for a week or not brushing
Now,
it.
what would you say, Ariel? What would you say to a POC mermaid? How do they protect their hair? Like, I think we need to be inclusive here. I think we really need to kind of broaden out how we answer these questions. I mean, what she's doing right now, pretty sick stuff. Pretty sick stuff. Excluding a lot of people with her advice.
It might not be doable for you, but if you're interested in essential oils, you can definitely message me. I can provide those for you and get you on a nice regimen for your hair. And that's kind of all I do. I'm pretty bare bones when it comes to my hair care. How did you know that you wanted to become a mermaid? Asks A. Shannon. I had gotten a little fabric tail, a little eco fabric tail with a monofin, and I did a live stream underwater, and that's why I got it. And it was pretty much instantaneous. I swam in that tail and I was like, this is amazing. This is awesome. I had never swam in a monofin before 3.5 years ago. And
so she's only been a mermaid for 3.5 years, and now she's become mermaid girl boss? Can we even trust anything that comes out of her mouth? She came to this conclusion, I assume, as an adult or very close to being an adult. I mean, what was she doing? Fucking live streams. For who? For who? For gentlemen that were willing to pay a nominal fee for private videos? Prophet says, POC mermaid, ain't this white people shit? Well, I think it is, honestly. Well, we'll find out. I think we may see in some other videos. Yeah, Big Paul says, you wait. Travis says, essential oils pyramid scheme is the real deal here then. The burner says, facts. Hagbert says, her palette cleanser, boys. Palette cleanser.
it was an instant love, and I have been doing it ever since. So I would say that when did I know I was going to become a mermaid? The very first time I put on a fin. Okay, the next question is, what is your favorite tail? So the favorite tail that
DuckTales. Prophet says, until very recently, only the ultra-wealthy had the means to live this eccentric. I know. They were the envy of the world, because all you wanted to do was be a foppish asshole. That was the tip of the iceberg. That was the highest peak that you thought maybe you could reach. You know, obviously there's people that buck the trend. You could do it when you're poor. Mozart comes to mind. He was very poor. He was very eccentric. He liked to wear wigs.
Own is just my original tail that I started this whole journey with. It's my teal silicone tail. It's the one that you'll see in majority of my content. I've had it for 3 years. It kind of got me on my start after that very first fabric tail. And I know that when I get my new tail, it will probably for sure become my new favorite tail. But right now, my teal and gold silicone tail is my favorite from House of Mer. Where did you get your tail from? So leading off on that, my silicone tails are from House of Mer. I have some fabric tails from Mer Tailor, and then I have fabric tails from Merfolx. And I am a Merfolk ambassador and will be getting my first silicone tail from Merfolk this year.
She's a Merfolk ambassador. Everybody's trying to sell you something, guys. These people can't even embrace their passions without trying to sell you something.
Which I just don't even have words for how excited I am for that. Chrissy2406 asks, is it easy to travel with your tails? I'm hoping to vacation soon and take my tail.
Yeah, you fold them up and you put them in a fucking suitcase. Is it easy to travel with your tails? Ugh.
It is kind of easy. Depends on the tail, really. If you're trying to take a silicone as big as these, for those who don't know, these silicone tails are 32 pounds.
If you're trying to take a silicone as big as these.
A full dragon silicone.
Dragon
with a professional
silicone.
monofin inside. So they're not very light and they're not very small, and they don't really bend up because they do have a full monofin in them. If I want to take a...
So you just strap them to the roof. Let them air out. Maybe throw a trash bag over them. Just for protection, to keep them safe.
Silicone tail, I'm definitely going to be committing. I can fit it into a large suitcase. So what I would do is I would check it as a bag and put it in one of my large I have a hard case suitcase. My fabric tails are much easier, especially my Merfolk tails. I can just put the monofin in my suitcase and I can take the skin and the vinyl and I can just roll it like a sleeping bag. So it depends on...
Hagbert says, you've got to have a few drinks and a lot of lube. CM Easy Q says, this never happened pre-internet. No, not so much. Not so much. How else would they know, right? For all the wonderful things the internet provides us, it also provides us with, gateways to lifestyles best left to the imagination. The burner says, how would you know?
What tail you have. I don't take my silicone tails out of the state unless I'm driving, hardly at all, especially if I'm going international. I usually bring a fabric. I absolutely love my fabrics and it takes a lot of the headache away. Do you make any of your tails? If so, how often? I don't make tails. I do get quite a few messages a month, I'd say, asking to buy tails from me or tops from me. I don't make either of the two. I've made some DIY tops for myself before.
And let me tell you something, girls. It was embarrassing. Tarami says it also gives us nightcaps. So, hey, circle of life, right? We're all feeding each other. We're all part of the system, for better or worse. For better or worse. Hagbert says, check my OnlyFans. CMEZQ says, people falling off cliffs taking selfies. Oh, yeah. Oh, wasn't it? Remember when Pokemon Go was a thing? When that first came out? I remember within the first 6 months, I think 15 people died from doing stuff like that. Walking into traffic, stepping off of cliffs. Gotta catch them all.
The reason that I've never tried to make one, for those who don't know, I actually have a fine arts degree. But
of course you do.
I believe that if you have a trade, try to, stick to your trade and be really good at what you do. And while I do try to get into way too many things, I can respect that it takes a lot of time, a lot of dedication, and I'd much rather support a company who's already doing it and is already, kind of kicking butt and has it down and loves it and wants to do it full time, because that way I can promote their beautiful work and promote their business.
And also promote my beautiful body. CM asks, damn, really? Yeah, that was the thing. It was the thing. Tarami says, well, I would have been surprised if she was an engineer. Yeah, she only inspires engineers. She only inspires girl bosses. She doesn't actually have to be one. Engineers prefer furrydom. Yes, exactly. They're more practical people, especially with the things they have to create to be furries. Probably a lot more that knowledge would come in handy a lot more often than that of the simple Finn.
Instead of me trying to do everything. So one time I thought about trying to make one just for learning's sake, but I thought, you know what? I just want to support everyone who made this a big enough passion to do it for a career, and I have a career in something else, so I really don't need to do both. Same with the tops. I love getting tops from amazing top makers who are trying to make that their business, or some of them their sole business as well. Elegantly Twined asked, how do you keep your eyes open? It's so painful. I've always had my eyes open since I was small. Whenever I swam, I had my eyes open. And growing up on a lake, like I told you guys, and growing up in South Florida on the beach, I've been swimming since I could breathe pretty much. And
so she's part fish. It's in her DNA. Tarami says, and the fursuit gives you somewhere to wipe off the Cheeto dust. And a lot more. And a lot more. You know, fur is absorbent. Have you heard of yiffing? Do you know what yiffing is? Think of all the dried cum in there. Tarami says she was born with her eyes open.
And I've just always had my eyes open. So it might be that I just don't have sensitive eyes, and some people do. It might be that my eyes adapt.
M. Duffy says, even when she sleeps. Oh, yeah. Hacker says, I wish I didn't.
Did because I did start opening them at such a young age. I'm not really sure. Rarely do my eyes hurt when I open them underwater. I don't have any problem, and I can actually see pretty clearly underwater. I will say, though...
So that was a sign. That was a sign to her that she actually is one of these merfolk. CM says, imagine having a chance to get with this girl, but also knowing you have to be lobotomized to stay with her. Ooh, you know, I might sign up for that. I might sign up because, I mean, ignorance is bliss. As long as I'm taken care of, could I be lobotomized? Like, if I had some sort of guarantee, you know, maybe I'd do it. I don't know. I'm pretty happily married. But, you know, my wife's not a mermaid, so come on.
A pool is heavily chlorinated, I will not open my eyes. It just wrecks them and it makes them so red. But salt water, if I open my eyes, it doesn't bother me at all. So possibly if it's salt or chlorine that bothers you, you might have drier eyes. It's the same with the hair. It's just kind of up to each person specifically. Curly Chickadee asks, how long can you hold your breath for? So this is something that I am working on. I wish I had more time to work on, but I did do a free dive certification course, and the max time that I have held my breath is 1 minute 45 seconds. So
what? 1 minute 45 seconds. We used to play games as a kid and see how many brain cells we could kill by holding our breath. You want to, you know, hold your breath until you start seeing those dots. Shit got crazy. Maybe I'm a merman. Maybe I'm a merfolk. You know, a merkin. Huh?
So I would love to like triple that. My boyfriend's at 4 minutes and I envy it so much. Carrie Gal 93 asks, how did you get your job? It's like a dream come true. I've never answered that question before. How did I get my job? But the answer to that is simple. I created it. So I own a business. I've always been an entrepreneur. Even when I was little, I would like try to sell my neighbor's used soap and try to sell all the vegetables out of my mom's garden. I was like a young hustler.
Soap.
And so for me, being business minded and having a business,
Sick
as
lady.
soon as I connected to it, I was like, okay, I'm doing this. So being a professional mermaid, unless you're hired by a company, would be something you create for yourself. And then you would be solely in control of it. And if you're going to become a professional mermaid, then it would be 100% on you to do. Okay, you guys, that is all the questions for today's video. Thank you so much for participating in my Instagram stories.
Oh, you're welcome.
Interacting with you guys is really important to me, and I do appreciate when you take the time.
Hagbert says she blew SpongeBob. That's hey, you want to get to the top. You want to get to the top. Ain't no joke. You got to be willing to put in the work, and sometimes that means blowing SpongeBob. All right, so now we have The Doctors. This is a segment from The Doctors, one of those daytime TV shows. My Life as a Mermaid is the title of the video. Let's see what they have to say. Let's see what they have to say. What is the professional opinion? Do you think they're going to like come down on the merfolk? Do you think they're going to come down on them? Or do you think they're going to embrace them? They're going to embrace them and be like, well, this is just something people do. And get with it, dude. Travis says, I know what the doctors are going to say. The coward. Yeah, I can't imagine they're going to come down very hard.
What if I told you people are living the lifestyle of a sea creature? No, it's not a plot of a new fantasy movie. This is for real. Take a look.
When I was in kindergarten and
It's actually not fur real. It's scale real. Thank you.
the teacher asked everyone to go around and say what they wanted to be when they grew up, I said a mermaid. Everyone laughed at me, and now here I am. I'm a mermaid.
I can totally see myself being a mermaid forever. My mermaid name is Mermaid.
Drummy says, no, this is pretty normal for the things we watch. You're not wrong. Yeah, this is a light night. Keeping it light.
See, I have a lot of body insecurities. I think a lot of people do. But when I'm in my tail, I don't feel insecure anymore. Because suddenly it doesn't matter what size I am because I'm a mermaid. And that's what people really focus on. When I take my tail off, it almost feels like a piece of me has come off.
Discovering that there was a mermaid community and that I could actually wear a mermaid tail and outwardly express what I always felt that I was in.
This is just like furries. There's no difference. There's no really discernible difference between the way that furries kind of describe their lifestyle and being a furry and what it means to them. This is a thing, like, I don't understand. Like, can't you just have a hobby that you do on the weekends? Like, why does it have to be this deeper thing? I don't know. I mean, I guess people get into everything, though. Lots of people that have that kind of mindset where they just kind of obsessively go in one direction. There's one thing, and their entire life is consumed by it. Trimus says, Christ, you are not a mermaid. You pretend being a mermaid on the weekends, which is perfectly all right. Just stop pretending you are one. CM says, delusional disorder. Yeah, something like that. Definitely something like that.
Side, it was really freeing.
Putting on a tail is probably one of the greatest feelings in the world.
M. Duffy says, I'm convinced that this shit all started as a 4chan prank. Oh, it's definitely a possibility, right? Like most things in the modern era, people just started taking that shit seriously, and like, I guess maybe they were inundated enough with it when they were kids that they're like, well, this seems like a legitimate path, legitimate option.
It really is.
When I put it on, it's like nothing else matters.
One of the mermaids you saw in that video, Tessie, is joining us now. Tessie?
Yeah.
Swim on out.
Why are they clapping? What are they clapping for? What are they clapping? You're so brave. You're so brave. You know what would be better? If they had a little wading pool for her, they should have had like a kiddie pool waiting for her to put her in the pool. To put her in the pool. To really like bring us into the reality of it. Really make that connection for us. Trami says, the doctor host, is he on Oxy? It's definitely possible. And then CM says, oh my God, it's a mermaid. So magical.
Thank you, Brian. Now, the one negative to being a mermaid.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Look at the mermaid, everybody. Look at the mermaid. Look at the merkin, the merfolks.
The one negative I imagine is that obviously we are currently on land, so getting around on land is not quite as easy as in the water.
I am pretty useless on land. Pretty useless.
You feel like a fish out of water?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, wow. 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 You guys think my jokes are bad? Holy shit. Trauma says, only women in the audience between 20 and 30. That's odd. There's a couple dudes. I saw a couple guys. Either they were dragged there, maybe they're secretly gay, maybe they're beards, you know?
So this is a growing community. They're called merfolk, right?
We are called merfolk. There are quite a few of us actually across the country and all around the world. We are growing steadily over time.
You even have conventions, I understand.
We do. There's actually a convention this weekend in North Carolina, I think, in Greensboro, called Mermania.
Okay, but I'm curious. So you go to the convention, and again, this is just logistical thinking here.
Yeah.
When you're there, is there a big body of water so that you can? Because it's not, again, if it's a normal convention and you're all sitting there, you can't. That would be very tough to.
Yeah. So there is a giant, like it's in a swimming pool essentially. There's a giant dive tank. People meet up and like. It's a really good time to just meet other MERS from all across the world.
Wow, that's really cool.
And how you feel, not sitting in this chair in the spotlight, but when you're swimming, there must be something so emancipating and serene because you do this all the time. So what is it?
I love it. I mean, like when you're in your tail and you're swimming, like you just glide through the water.
Yeah, it just makes swimming super easy. Trauma says, another thing all these people do suggests that soon we'll all be furries, mermaids, whatever. Yeah, same thing with vegans, right? Vegans say the same shit. They're like, well, you know, you guys were closer to the vegan world than you realize. You should just get on board. You should just stop thinking whatever you're thinking. Just get on board with it, okay? Because it's gonna fucking happen. It's an inevitability. Also, lots of very confused, mentally ill men also say things like that on TikTok.
I mean, I did swim team in high school, but I feel pretty useless without my fin. And at this point, I'm actually more comfortable in my tail than without it.
So you've always loved the water.
Big Paul says, deconstruct everything until there is nothing. Until there is nothing but pedophiles, mermaids, furries, transsexuals. Until then, until we get to live in that perfect paradise. Well, you know what I mean. Trump says, you got to get in early for the profits. That's probably true, right? When the great merpocalypse happens, when we're all turned into mermaids, whoever's making these fins, they're going to make bank. Bank, bank, bank. Hagbert says, that's absurd. Soon we'll all be space marines serving the Imperium.
Always been a swimmer.
Always, yeah. My field, so my day job, in addition to like being a part-time mermaid, is I actually work in environmental policy, so conservation is a really big part of why I do this. And when you go to like a birthday party or a charity event, and you can tell kids like, hey, when you throw things into the ocean, like you're hurting my home, suddenly you personalize the issue. And then, I mean, like, I've had kids break down crying, like, I'm so sorry. And it's like,
oh, that's great. I'm so glad that parents hire you to come and give their children a whimsical, magical moment for their birthday parties, and you cannot help yourself but to proselytize and traumatize. You can't help yourself. Are these good things to teach kids? Don't throw shit in the ocean? Sure, okay? I think we all agree on that. But but we don't need to hear it from you. That's not why you were hired to go to this kid's party. Jesus Christ. Travis says, so you've always been a swimmer. The host leaves no stone unturned here.
No, you're fine. Just like, don't do it in the future.
And how much does the tail cost?
A lot. So my tail cost, with all of the additions and the paint job, was, I think, $2,500 or so.
Very nice, so.
Yeah.
I think you're getting off easy, chick. I think you're getting off easy, lady. Furries paying upwards of $12,000 for their suits. You're lucky. You're lucky your weird fetish is more tame, simpler. A simpler fetish.
Can we see him?
And the one thing I will say,
a little flap is.
Oh yeah, look at this guy. This guy wants to come, dude. He's like Prophet earlier, trying to get upstream. He's like, oh, let me show me a little mer action. Show me a little mer action. I'll see if I can blast you from here. Big Paul says LOL, and then Trami says, also, isn't it weird that they put her in the audience and not on stage? Some of these shows do this kind of thing. They do this kind of thing because they try to envelop the audience and the people they're talking to. They want to keep that separation. I don't know if this is a common thing for the doctors. This is not a program that I'm very familiar with outside of seeing weird clips over the years. But I don't know if this is their standard operating procedure. Maybe they were afraid. Maybe they thought they'd get mermaids or something. Big Paul says it's that anti-speciesism. Again, it rears its ugly head.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah,
You're a big biker,
fuck yeah,
Dr. Funk. I am as
bitch.
well. And nowadays, people fork over that kind of money for bikes all the time. So
Of course.
this is, in many ways, your
bike.
I mean, these are your wheels.
Yeah, and it's such a healthy habit.
Yeah. Let's connect it to people that like to ride bikes. Well, people ride bikes and those are expensive. So yeah, sure, why not? Travis says off to the fish ghettos with them.
I mean, think of all the unhealthy, detrimental things that people get themselves into. This is a community meeting to feel, free in the water, which is somehow a part of you, part human, part fish.
The burner says so many tributes to make. You're gonna have a busy night there, burner.
But also, look, you're getting your heart rate up, you're exercising, you're socializing.
For sure.
It sounds healthy.
I have to ask you, so this is so much of your persona now. I mean, how do you feel when you're out of your mermaid mode? I know this was sort of an escape of sorts.
Absolutely. Even when
So he skirted around a real question. A real question. How does this happen? What's the pathology here? Like, how does this develop in a person? Hagbard says Atlantic City. Then Trami says, yeah, this is going exactly how I expected it to. Then Trami says, these tangential benefits make this such a healthy pastime. Yeah, because that's exactly. So not to offend her, they're just distilling it down to like, well, you get a lot of exercise. Well, some people do. I don't know if you do. You did say in the packet, and that pre-packet that you're not actually very healthy.
when you're in the pool and you have to come out and you take your tail off, it's this feeling like you're losing a part of yourself. You feel very vulnerable. It's like, oh, there are these two things I'm not quite sure what to do with. Am I going to drown?
Well, I tell you, we really appreciate you sharing.
What was the point of that? What was the point of bringing her on stage to talk about what? Just talk about that she does it? And that well, at least you're not smoking crack. At least you're not shooting heroin. At least you're not doing that. I mean, come on, what the fuck? Ask her some questions. Well, I just felt it deep inside. Travis says, freak show. we got a freak show for you coming up right now. Hey now.
I feel like the catch of the day. Whoosh. When I'm in my tail, I feel like it's a part of me, and I'm a merman. Some people say, oh, that's weird, but I don't care. Being a merman, when you're trying to get into your tail, sometimes you squish yourself in certain areas you shouldn't squish. Being a part of the merfolk community is very empowering to me.
Society of Fat Mermaids creates
You were saying, Tarame,
a safe space for bodies that are typically not visible.
Fat mermaids!
Time to dive on in.
All right.
It's my body, it's my rules. We're about to initiate Zach into...
Why is it always about that? Oh my God, wouldn't it just be easier to go on a diet? And I'm not saying that to be a dick. Listen, I struggle with weight myself. I do. But come on. Travis says, which is kind of disgusting that they invite these people to put on a freak show but wrap it up in a coyness to get away with it. Oh, I totally agree with you. Travis says, I meant that's why they do these shows. Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah, shout out to Hagbard from, this is from Reddit. Hagbard actually inspired this entire night. So big round of applause for Hagbard. Thank you so much for doing something in the Reddit, because that was awesome, man. It gave Big Paul the spark. He was inspired.
The pod. This is very exciting. It's a struggle being a fat merman. People see in the world the skinny, the muscular. That's the merman they want to see. When there's more mermen in the group, we can actually talk about struggles together. and swim together. A merman, basically like a mermaid.
So he's just looking for some bros. He's like, listen, can we get some fucking bros in here so we can talk about how we squish our nuts? We try to get these fins on, everybody.
Little male. Hi, Shay. How
Hey
you doing?
Sam, how are you? It's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too. We're gonna decide which tail we're gonna wear. Put our monofins on our tails. I like it because it looks almost like fire. This fin is the largest silicone fin that the Mertailor has. It's quite heavy.
Mermaid fitness.
Mermaid fitness, yes. One of my favorite people here. She's a merlebrity.
I love to greet people like Shalom.
Shay Monique. Shay Monique. She's a merlebrity, a mermaid celebrity. Shalom. Shalom. Hagbard says, hey, I toss you up a crumb. You guys made a bakery. Well, we appreciate the crumbs, my friend. Seriously. So it's always hard to kind of like source things for Nightcap sometimes. That's why we've had in the past, it's kind of a thing around here, feast or famine. We're trying to make more feasts. So we appreciate it.
Types of things that happen when you're a person of size. There's like, I can't find a tail that fits. I can't fit in a booth at a restaurant. I created Society of Fat Mermaids for people who kind of grew up missing a certain type of representation. I'm gonna put on this crown.
Prophet says, waifu alert, waifu alert. Oh yeah, she'd definitely take care of you. She'd definitely take care of you. She'd be taking care of you, taking care of your fins, taking you to Applebee's on half-price appetizer night. She knows how to treat her man, I can tell you that. Trauma says, been thinking about a topic for a little while. I'll hit you up on mail if I find anything. Yeah, go for it, dude. I would, seriously, even if it's just a spark of something. It gives me just a direction to go and look for stuff. It's much appreciated.
To swim in. We are both a clothing line and a community. We're like a fat-centered safe space. Oh, look, I'm a mermaid.
Basically, this is how we swim. With these tails, they have really cool vinyl pockets. I've been picked on for being heavy in most of my life. I watched a Disney movie, The 13th Year, and watching this boy turn 13, and he realized he was adopted, and he turned into a merman. It's like, I want to be that person.
Why? I wish there was some deeper introspection here. Like, why? It's not just because you were uncomfortable with your body. Like, I just don't believe that. I understand, like, finding a group of people that you feel comfortable around and blah, blah, blah. Everybody does that. Everybody has, like, friend groups, clubs that they join, people with similar interests, people that like the same bands. But I feel like this just takes it a step further, just like the furry. It takes it a step further. And they're very coy about, like, what motivates that behavior. Like, on a real level, like on a very deep personal level. Hagbard says, rub the shea butter on her fin. Oh, yeah. You got to do what you got to do. Big Paul says, or request it as a service on the Facebook page because you can't be an O lineman. Yeah, on Facebook, on our Facebook page, we now have a place if people want to go and suggest topics for everything we do, whether it's reviews or it's Nightcap episodes. There's actually a place where you can do that there if you're interested in that, or you can just email me at zuboxpodcast@gmail.com.
Today we're in a private setting, and so we can like play. Like everybody likes to show off their new stuff.
Ready to make some big waves?
My friend Zach, he's worn a tail like on land in a convention, but today's gonna be his first time swimming in a tail.
Trame brings up an excellent point. Again, it's not that they have weird hobbies; it's that they announce it as their true identity. Yeah. They can't just be like, that's what we do on the weekend. We have fun. We have a group of people. We like to do the same things. It has to be like this very deep, powerful, important aspect of their identity and of their person. It's like all that they have, which is sad in some respect. If you start really thinking about it, well, it is kind of sad that they don't have other things in their life to kind of like fill the void that this is obviously filling.
My expectations at this point are that they're going to teach me how to swim. I'm going to look as gorgeous as I always look. In a word, intimidating. But ain't nothing I ain't ready for. So let's give it a whirl, Shaun.
We may need to adjust the buckle.
Right.
Safety is first. You never swim alone. Make sure there's a lifeguard on duty. And mermaid tails aren't toys. let's give Zach a big chant as we welcome him officially into the Society of Fat Mermaids.
The Society of Fat Mermaids. I gotta get me a shirt. I gotta get me a shirt that says that. The Society of Fat Mermaids. Oh, Shaun Monique.
Fat Mermaids!
Make waves!
All right.
Oh, let's do this.
Trami says, it's not a toy, it's a collectible. Hagbard says, a merman who can't swim? Is that like Christopher Reeve on land? M. Duffy says, my girlfriend took one glance and said, this is going to kill my brain cells. Oh, she's not wrong. She's not wrong. She should protect herself.
I'm ready. Time to dive on in.
So you want to use your...
How was it for the first time?
You want to do more of a pelvic thrust. So hands out, pelvic thrust.
It's amazing that we got him in the water.
Wow. It's definitely not as easy as it looks.
Look at you go. It just feels so good to see him out here shining, living his best merman life.
Why? Why? Maybe he's got real problems. Maybe you should talk to him.
It feels amazing to have another merman. I think every man should try at least once or twice.
I was so overwhelmed with the amount of love and support and community that comes with this group.
There we go.
See, this is what it is. It's lost people looking for community, looking for comfort, and then having to buy into all of this bullshit to have people be nice to them, to feel like they're part of something, like they belong. And you see that with so many of these communities. So many of them. It becomes their identity because it's their only way to get positive attention in their life. There's always something much fucking deeper, much darker down below the surface, if you will. Hagbard says, really drives you insane. Travis says, he put that the same way as people say everyone should try sucking a dick once or twice, just to try. Well, you never know. The burner says, even the smallest cringe community has to divide itself with intersectionality, e.g., Fat Mermaid. Yeah, exactly. What do you think, Ariel's going to be swimming with these merkin? These merfolk? Oh, absolutely not. She's a brand ambassador, the burner. She's a brand ambassador. She's not going to be seen with these people sullying the products of Merfin or Finfolk, whatever the fuck it was called. You know what I'm talking about.
What we got over here?
I'm not going to say bigger is better because we love all bodies, whatever they look like, but
I like a man who can throw down a bucket of wings.
More is more.
I could be there for you, Shaun Monique. I could be there. I could be your guy. Me and you hanging out on the beach, just fucking stuffing our faces. Then we go for a swim, try to burn some of it off, but you know what's really going to happen. We're going to flap at each other. We're going to flap on each other.
I'm very grateful that Shay started the Society of Fat Mermaids because there are people like me, and it's amazing.
There are people like me. Being a mermaid wasn't enough. Had to be fat mermaids. Trami says Asian girl could throw down a bucket of wings. She might be worthwhile seeing in a tail. Well, that's true. We have seen that as well. Those ASMR chicks. Oh yeah. Let's see if we can find Shaun Monique. Shaun Monique, Fat Mermaids. Let's see if she's got her own operation. She might. Oh, that's a very long interview. She does have a channel. Mermaid Shaun Monique. Private tank visit. Oh, a private tank visit. So people pay her to come and be in a tank in her house. Merfolk Pride panel. Oh my God, I'm very tempted, but it's very long. A discussion with LGBTQ plus mermaids, mermen, and mernem. Whoa. Oh, do we want to I don't even know. I don't even know if I want to start that. It's an hour and a half long. Oh, all right. You know what we're going to do? Hold me to this. Do not allow me to watch this whole video. Do not allow me to watch this whole video. Just don't do it. You know how I am. I say this shit. I say, oh, we'll watch a few minutes, and then we end up watching the whole goddamn thing. All right. Okay.
Hello! Thank you, everybody who is able to tune in.
Wait, hold on. What are the views on this? Let's check out the views. Okay, there's 20 views on this. This is from July 19th, 2021. You know what? We're gonna have to give her a sub. We're gonna give her a sub. We're gonna hit that bell. We're gonna make her feel good. We're gonna do something for her. Okay? We're gonna do something for her. She's providing us this beautiful gift of content. You know? Trump says, "Okay, I'm done. Stop it."
I am going to make sure that I'm sharing this on my personal page. So I'm doing okay. I am Mermaid Shay Monique, and I am coming to you.
Imagine running into battle with this as on your shield. This is your crest. Your family crest. You run into battle, you got it like the 300 guys. Oh! Oh! Can you see it? Can you see the Zack Snyder movie? M. Duffy says infinite content. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Kind of casually, I put it out there on my page, like, should I do a Pride mermaid panel, merfolk panel? And a bunch of people were like, yeah. So I was like, let's do it. And so I have brought together a few of my friends. I'm not a great multitasker, so you won't see me looking down a lot throughout this thing. So let me...
So she paid for the real StreamYards, by the way, because there's no watermark. Shay Monique is she's got some money. All right, let's just skip ahead a little bit. Good God.
To join us, and I think he is still enjoying the Afro Mermaid convention. Oh, Amber's here. Hi, Amber. Christian, you were just there.
So she shot off that link. She's like, God damn it, I hope people show up. I hope some of these gay mer people show up. Oh, look, she's got her pronouns in her bio. Important. This guy doesn't. Merman Christian. What an asshole.
There, how was that?
Oh, it was incredible. It was definitely a very different take on a mermaid gathering, and there was some spirituality involved, and it just really kind of bringing everybody together and just kind of connecting with one another, and also.
M. Duffy says that dude is totally gay on the bottom. Oh, I'm sure he bottoms a lot more than just on this video.
Shedding light on how we're all connected to the ocean and just
a power bottom, though. A power bottom. He's able to receive an immense amount of power, immense amount of thrusting, as we saw that they do when they're wearing their fins. Do you think they do that? Like, if they want to have sex in their mer outfits, do you think they they have special ones where like your private area is cut out so they can make contact, you know? Hagbert says, isn't he the merman from the first video? He could be. I don't think he is. I don't think he is. But they do have a similar look. What the fuck is this hat, by the way? What are you doing? I thought you were a merman. You got a merman necklace. Ain't no merman wearing a fucking hat. Get out of here, fella. Get out of here, you faker, you interloper.
Basically, how also it's like we've kind of lost our connection a little bit along the way over the years. So it was really just getting back in touch with that. And so that was one of the really great aspects that I loved about it. And just getting together and, of course, seeing everybody's tales and, everybody complimenting each other. I mean, not just on their tales, but just, how just the love that was all there. Everybody was just so many hugs, and it was.
What if somebody showed up with a shitty tale? Would they ostracize them or would they play along? Do you think they're like mean girls? So like in a mean girl clique? Like, God damn it, Terry. I thought you said you were going to get that thing fixed. Didn't I give you that Finfolk link? Yeah, but I couldn't afford it. You couldn't afford it, Terry? Well, you need to try harder. Trauma says they look a bit alike, but I don't think so, no. Yeah, I don't think so either. It's just the generic merman design. Yeah, everybody looks like Jason Momoa from Aquaman now.
So it was all outdoor event and right on the beach for some of it. And just seeing that love being restored, especially after the year that the whole world has had.
Prophet says, these people want me ejected from society for not being triple boosted. Well, as long as you stay out of the pool, you'll probably be all right.
And I definitely think it helped make everybody, you never really know what you have until it's been just taken away from you unexpectedly. So, and we definitely made up for everything of the past year. It was fantastic. I can't wait till next year. And yeah, I hope you guys can make it.
I definitely intend to be there next year.
He's like, yeah, I blasted so much fucking ass. I fucking came so hard, guys. You guys don't even know. Cummies were everywhere. Cum tributes all around me. On my face even. Prophet says, these people want me... Oh, no, I already read that. Travis says, if they stay out of the gene pool, it's a deal. Travis says that was sort of mean. And then Prophet says, no, I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Next year. All right, let's do our official introductions. I am going to start... so just, who we are, our pronouns, why we're here.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Basically said that. So, shalom. You must know me because I'm hosting this thing, but maybe you're watching the YouTube replay and you don't. I am Shaun Monique.
We are. We are one of 20 people. This is an exclusive situation you guys are getting to watch. Like, this is not 20, only 20 other people have seen this. What a beautiful gift that NIGHTCAP is giving us all. What a beautiful gift that Hagbard started with his crumb, and then Big Paul took the crumb and made a meal, like Jesus, feeding the masses. Just feeding the masses. Travis says, don't you drag Susan Sarandon's name in the dirt like that? Because Hagbard said before that, and fat Susan Sarandon on the upper right. Yeah, she's looking kind of rough. Susan Sarandon's a fucking psycho, Tarami. Wonderful actress, but psychotic.
So known as Mermaid Shaun Monique. My pronouns are she, her. I fit somewhere in the bi, queer, pan spectrum that's always evolving. But I feel like Washington, D.C.'s queer community kind of raised me. That's where I spent most of my young adulthood.
Oh, she was probably one of those orphans that got kidnapped by the sex traffickers.
Pride is definitely one of my favorite seasons of the year. I think it's like Pride. It's Halloween, Pride, Christmas for me. And
those are the high holidays.
Yeah, they are. And I'm still kind of staying in for the most part, so I didn't go out to any of the festivities.
Big Paul says, I can't take this. Hagbard said before that, yes, yeah, but she's a dime piece.
But like I said, I kind of just mentioned on my page, should I have a Pride panel, a Pride Merfolk panel? And a bunch of people said yes. And so I was like, well, let's see who is available to hang out. Personally.
All right, let's skip ahead. Another person has joined the chat at some point, so we'll get to when she joins. Or they join. Nymphia. Hold on, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stick myself right here. I'm like part of the chat. I'm part of the group.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I was kind of like rushing to get it on before I came on here.
Well, it looks great.
Thank you.
Can I ask you, are you on your phone?
Yeah.
Can I ask you to give us the little landscape rotation?
Let's see.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. Thank you. And please introduce yourself.
All right.
All right.
Just adjusting a teeny bit. There we go.
Absolutely.
She also kind of looks like a Susan Sarandon. If Susan Sarandon was transitioning. Travis says, I haven't kept up on my Susan, but a quick search confirms your statement, Shaun. Oh yeah, she's lost. She's out there.
Hello. So I go by Nymphia the Nautilus Mermaid, and I am a trans professional mermaid based in.
Oh, you don't say. Who could have seen that coming?
Kind of Oakland, San Francisco area. I've been a kind of a bit of a speaker in terms of like just being a trans mermaid, and I've talked within like the California Mermaid Convention, and I don't know, it's been a really fun journey, and just getting to kind of live my mermaid life to the fullest has always been a lot of fun for me. So yeah, here I am.
Awesome. I'm so happy you could join us.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me on.
Cool. We'll go counterclockwise now, so we'll stay on you. I'm going to ask everybody, what is your favorite gender neutral mer word?
Their favorite gender neutral mer word. Dear God. Dear God. How hardcore do you need to be coddled in your in life? Are there gender neutral mer terms? Imagine like the headache of all this shit. Oh my God. Like you can't even talk to each other without like all these presuppositions about everything. It's awful. Trami says, all right, confession. Until I read her name, I couldn't tell which direction she was transitioning. I was curious myself. I definitely wondered for a second. I could tell that there was something going on, but I didn't know. M. Duffy says, oh, gee, I wonder what her pronouns she has on Twitter. Big Paul says, there we go again. Even the smallest communities divide even further with this shit. You're not wrong. It's just this constant bifurcation of everything until you're in like some very small exclusive group with two other people and there is no community and there is nothing because it's just about power. It's about rhetoric. It's about games. Hagbert says it's a gamer word, so I can't say. Trami says, Too Big Paul. It reminds me of the Emo Phillips skit where he talks to a jumper on a bridge.
Well, that's an easy one for me.
Yeah, me too.
Ooh, gosh, like I feel like there's so many out there. I mean, I feel like
So the actual trans person, they're struggling to come up with it because they don't really care. This is not something anybody actually cares about, even merfolk. But these people, they're like, oh, we know. Why? Why do you know? Why do you have such a fucking hard edge of knowledge? You're a gay mer guy. You're a lesbian mer lady. Do you preoccupy your thoughts with gender neutral terms for this hobby you have? Jesus Christ. Hagbert says, I miss Emo Phillips. A more innocent time. I agree. I actually got to see him on stage once.
like I don't know. I feel like merfolk tends to be like my go-to. I don't know why. It's just kind of it feels like for me it's kind of like the default.
Yeah.
But I know quite a few people have come up with some really clever ones, and I just can't think of any off the top of my head.
Okay.
Well, what I like about merfolk is that like you could be talking about a single.
Big Paul says, go to Seattle, Shaun. Oh, maybe I will. Maybe I will, goddammit. That's where my sister moved out there. So maybe I will end out there at some point. Trauma says, thing is, I think they feel like this talk gives them authority. Authority. It does, because they're here to speak for a community. They're not really speaking just for themselves. Like, if you did not accept Shane Monique's invitation, well, you just don't care. You're not down with the cause.
Singular person, or you could be talking about a group of people, which is just, I'm a particular fan.
What about you, Christian?
I agree. That was actually going to be my word as well. And I actually caught myself saying it this weekend at the summit to some of the hotel guests because they asked, they yanked me aside.
Big Paul says, no, like inside Seattle's mermaid community. I gotcha. I got it queued up. All right, well, let's skip ahead. Let's go halfway in. Let's see where the conversation is taking them. Normally, because I joked around, I'm like, well, usually I say, like, we're not going to watch this whole thing, and then we do. But this is a time where I can't.
Yeah, and I mean, I think overall, like when I started Metro Merfolk, I mean, I even named the group we've got there
Oh my
mermaids,
God.
mermen, and other aquatics, right? Like so, and the whole like the logo and everything was all rainbows from day one. So like my identity was already like infused into what I was doing like from the break, right? So it was like it was funny because I was talking to someone who was at some point was helping me with some branding, and they're like, well, you know, the rainbow is not really necessity, right? Like they don't really get that until they're in the mermaid community. I'm like, you wildly don't even understand. Okay. Well, everyone but you got the memo. So clearly not the right branding person for me.
Look how stoked she is. Look how stoked she is to be able to correct somebody on their terms. Like, oh, you just don't get it. You just don't get it. You're not a gamer. You're not a gamer. You don't understand. Gay merfolk, okay, they love the rainbow. They love it. They see it more than you do. Fucking land walker piece of shit.
So I was like, thanks. So it's been awesome because I don't have a particular moment just offhand, but I mean, Shay, you've been to the meetups, right? Like you can just see like the magic when we were having them on a regular basis. Like so many people come out and just have that moment of like, oh my gosh, like I can, you know, whatever else is going on in my life, it doesn't matter because I'm having this magical moment right here, right now.
Yeah, it's delusion. You're not actually helping anybody. You're not helping anybody. You're giving them a false salve to something that they clearly have something wrong with them. Clearly. And I bet these people they play into it. They play into these people's delusions. They're predatory almost because they not only do people want like a community, lost people, they want a community, so they'll kind of engage with whatever they can to get that community. But people that start communities also engage in the same kind of shit. The same kind of shit. More self-destruction of their own identity / community, says Big Paul, and he says he seconds the executive decision to move on. And Duffy says, I'm waiting for them to start accusing the other mermaids of being racist. I bet you long enough timeline, I bet you if we watch this whole thing, it's probably in there. They're probably like, and we really need to talk about the race issue with mer people. Trami says they are only open and free until they step out of line. Yeah, until you break with orthodoxy. Yeah.
And it's definitely inspiring me for sure.
Well, that was a beautiful nugget. Let's skip ahead.
And have these.
Oh, she talks a lot. This lady talks a lot.
You know, it's so nice to like see your personality shine through now, and you know you're outgoing, definitely outspoken, you're funny, you can laugh at yourself, and you know we're laughing with you, and you know I'm thankful.
He must be talking about the fat mermaids. he's like, well, I don't have this problem of being a fat mermaid. I'll laugh with you.
That I kind of got over that fear and stepped outside of that zone. So when I met people this weekend that they knew me, but unfortunately I didn't know them just by how that goes. So
yeah, you're big time in the merfolk community. We get it, buddy. All right, let's skip towards the end.
Be you. You are blessed with this life. And
profound.
Yeah, live it to your fullest.
Profound.
That's how I see it now. So yeah, it's definitely helped.
Being a mer person has definitely helped. Developing this community has definitely helped. He's like, you have any idea how much young tail I get? Do you have any fucking idea? Wish he'd get like super aggressive. Tip his hat.
Growing up, you know, like in elementary school, I hope it's different now, but like when I was in elementary school, there was like the girls' table, the boys' table at lunch. And then like around 4th grade, like a couple girls start going over to the boys' table. And like by like 6th grade, like everybody's like mixed, except like I feel like I was like the last girl at the girls' table. Like boys are stinky. And so like my confession, like, I mean, I love the gender diversity in mermaiding, but I do also appreciate like the sapphic nature of like mer lore, you know, like
Oh
this
my
idea that there's a world
God.
where it's like 80% girls just swimming around living their best life, like does appeal to the part of me that did not realize that she was.
He's not cool with that. He feels left out. He's like, what are you saying, bitch? You trying to erase my identity right now because of fucking Merlore? Get with the times. It's 2021. Get with the times, lady. Prof says 3 words. Little Isla's slurry. Trimey says, no, it's not different.
Queer until very recently, despite the fact that she was the last girl at the girls' table. So I'm also one of those people. I'm one of the.
Oh my God. I'm sure you're a hero in some regards. I'm sure you're a very heroic figure in your community.
Rambly answer about how I like to dress up and pretend I'm the queen of the world. But I do think that there's a bigger picture where when I dress up, pretend I'm the queen of the world, that it lets other people see themselves as such.
I'm
so
Cumin.
Now I'm emotional.
I'm Cumin.
I'm gonna stop talking.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. And honestly, like it's.
See, they can't. This is not for them. This is not for themselves. It's about what they inspire in larger communities. It's not about them. They're not selfish people, okay? They're all out there just being like, oh, well, you know, if somebody sees me in my, as Tromby says, queendom. Tromby says, you can't all be queens. Just Shay Monique. But people can aspire to be a queen. They can aspire now because they've witnessed the majesty of Colleen McCartney and Shay Monique and Merman Christian and Nymphia. Now they know this is a path they could also take.
I just thought I'm out here having fun, posting pictures of cosplay and mermaid shenanigans, and then I would have people like message me with like, wow, you like really inspired me, made me feel so much more comfortable. And I was like, oh, well, awesome. That's really amazing. And I'm like, oh, wait, that's what I do. Oh, what I do. Oh, man.
Hagrid says all MER census numbers pre-2020 are flawed. The 80-20 split is incorrect. See, I can make shit up too.
And I'm an adult. What?
All right.
Awkward pause. Okay, everybody. Well, I think that's enough of that. I'm sure there's probably some gold in there if we have the stamina, if we have the time to really delve into it. But we're gonna go in right now. We're gonna go inside Seattle's mermaid community. This is from 2017, so from a few years ago. This is also from a channel that we have ventured into in the past, Truly. So it'll be very produced. It'll be produced like a TLC show, as we know. I probably don't want to be there anymore.
I'm a mermaid. I'm literally a real life mermaid.
Like fucking literally.
You may think that mermaids are only seen in fairy tales or Disney films, but there is a secret community of merfolk growing.
At first it looked like I thought I was seeing things, you know. I was like, what was that? You know, is that a dolphin that got into the lake? Because every once in a while.
So that's just the guy who lives at the marina. He says he's a marina resident, so he has a houseboat, and he was very confused. Very confused. Maybe he was high, maybe he was drunk. He's like, oh shit, look at that. Think I could fuck it, fellas?
In a while we get seals and
Are
whatnot.
we in international waters?
That'll come into the lake, and here comes this giant tail, and then up pops Ed, and I was like, it shocked me. It was crazy.
It's a bit of a lifestyle for me because I live on a boat. I always like to be around the water. I work on a boat. My mer name is Madeline. I think it can be like a hobby and a passion and a way of life for a lot of people. Like, it's all three wrapped into one. People are into it for conservation reasons because they want to try and promote conservation of ocean life.
Ed, Tessie and Caitlin are all part of an emerging community of merfolk in Seattle.
My mermaid name is...
An emerging community, and of course it would happen in beautiful Seattle. Hagbard says he doesn't deserve that name. And then Tarami says, the quality of the narrator's voiceover convinces me of this documentary's quality right out of the gate. Oh yeah. She's tried and true. She loves it. She loves her work.
Cyania. A little while back, I did quit my day job so that I could focus full-time on being a mermaid. So now I currently work out of my home in this little studio that I've set up in our spare room. And I make prosthetic quality silicone tails out of dragon skin platinum silicone. I also make accessories, and I make little sea creatures as well. This is my sea serpent tail.
I wonder how much you got to pull in, like, especially if you live in Seattle. Like, how much do you have to be pulling in to support yourself on this? I mean, because it's such a niche community, you can imagine that they're probably can charge quite a bit for what they do. But as we've seen in other videos, we're talking like what, $2,200 max for a fin, for a tail. I mean, they gotta really expand this. I mean, like the furries are out there making like $12,000, $15,000 a suit for the real serious people, for the envy of the conventions.
The inspiration for this was part biology and part fantasy, obviously. It took me an entire year to make. When I was in kindergarten and the teacher asked everyone to go around and say what they wanted to be when they grew up, I said a mermaid. Everyone laughed at me, and now here I am. I'm a mermaid.
As a mer person,
Even back then, at 4 years old, at 5 years old, I knew deep down inside who I was destined to be. Who's laughing now, kids?
I'm not that different from the way I am on land, but I feel like it's a lot easier to talk to people. If I'm in street clothes and I'm out on the town, I really don't like it when people talk to me, and I get really nervous.
Yeah, it's called mental illness. You have anxiety. You have problems with anxiety. We've all been there, sister. Don't worry. But if you need to put a fin on and swim around in a fucking pool to have a conversation and feel comfortable, you may want to go talk to somebody. Pro tip. Trauma is also a recurring thing. People excusing their adult hang-ups on something they thought when they were 5. Yeah, you see that a lot, like nowadays. In the past, like 5 or 6 years, especially, right? It's all of these kind of things that they always refer back to their childhood and about how they knew. How it was like a fixation that they couldn't get away from, and it was kept from them because of social mores. And now that they're grown-ups, now they can eat chocolate cake for breakfast. Trauma says is very Freudian. I agree. I totally agree. I think that's a really great observation.
But when I'm in my tail, and it's a lot easier to talk to people.
I can totally see myself being a mermaid forever. My mermaid name is Mermaid Essie. I have a lot of body insecurities, I think.
See, this is the girl that was on The Doctors. That show we watched, The Doctors. There she is. She's professional. She's out there speaking for the merfolk, for the mer people. A representative.
I think a lot of people do. But when I'm in my tail, I don't feel insecure anymore. Because suddenly it doesn't matter what size I am, because I'm a mermaid. And that's what people really focus on. When I take my tail off, it almost feels like a piece of me has come off.
Is your tail rack still broken?
Yeah, the zipper. I've always been a little bit of kind of an outsider.
M. Duffy says, victimhood is a cheap way to get social attention while disregarding responsibilities. Yeah, I would agree with you, because they all look at like the idea that adults did not cater to their whims, their childish whims as children, and didn't indulge them in it. They are somehow traumatized by that experience and were not allowed to fulfill their greater purpose as a result of that. Like that's what most of them say. That's how most of them act, right? And that seems the story of all of these communities. All of them, whether it's furries, whether it's trans people, whether it's fucking merfolk. Usually the story is the same. Travis says, is there a thing like social pain gating? If you aren't aware, pain gating is the mechanism where the brain ignores lesser pains for the greater ones. A paper cut versus a knife stab. Oh, yeah, probably. I think that's probably something, right? They do this to mask a deeper problem. It's kind of what we've been talking about. Like, there is something deeper going on that engaging this kind of behavior allows them to obfuscate rather. They can kind of skirt around it. They don't have to talk about it because of this. Trami says, so by putting themselves more outside norms, they don't feel they're lesser problems. Yes, I think so. I think you hit the nail on the head.
A loner and a little bit eccentric. So discovering that there was a mermaid community and that I could actually wear a mermaid tail and outwardly express what I always felt that I was inside, it was really freeing. And so I do feel like I'm showing my true self to the world.
I think a lot of people do get into it because putting on a tail is probably one of the greatest feelings in the world.
It really is.
And having a beautiful fishtail is absolutely imperative to being a dedicated merperson.
I do feel like my tail is a part of me, and I do actually feel like it is a prosthetic limb. I sometimes joke that I wear...
Oh yeah, that's super healthy. That's super healthy to think that, oh, it's like a prosthetic limb. It allows me to maximize myself, my purpose. Who am I? I'm a merman.
Because I was born with a terrible birth defect, which is legs.
I like...
Oh my God, you got something really wrong with you if that's how you think. It's like people that are born with sight and say like, hey, could you blind me? Could you fucking blind? Could you just blind me? I think this is a problem. I think I'm actually a trans blind person. I'm a trans fish person. What are you doing? Like, Jesus Christ. Go talk to somebody, for fuck's sake, please.
I like it because
Please.
I personally think it's fun. Like, I can never have a bad day swimming, no matter what happens. When I'm in the water with my tail on, it's like magic. I just automatically feel less like...
Like that person, this person right here. Hold on. They watch Hellboy. They watch Abe Sapien, and they say, that's who I am. That's me. I'm Abe Sapien from Hellboy. You know what I mean? That's who they want to be. They're that uncomfortable in their own skin, which would indicate to me, I don't know, I'm not an expert, maybe a deeper problem.
Magic. I just automatically feel less like an awkward person swimming and more like a creature that belongs in the water.
When I put it on, it's like nothing else matters, and I'm a mermaid and I can do whatever it is that I feel like doing.
But being a mermaid is not something that is easy for everyone to understand.
When I told my mother I wanted to be a mermaid, she just kept laughing at me.
I thought it was a stupid idea at first. I thought it was gonna just be a waste of money and a waste of time. I thought her time can best be used studying.
So you have like an immigrant mother. You have an immigrant mother who came to this country, had a family, came here for success, came here for all the opportunities that this country provides immigrants, and her daughter ends up being a fucking mermaid. And she's just like, I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, I wanted you to go to college and become a doctor. What the fuck are you doing? Prophet says, imagine how those fins stink. Oh, yeah. Not pleasant. Not pleasant. Because, like, we've all seen movies where people, like, wear the prosthetic costumes, you know, all the silicone and all that stuff, and they get out of them, and they literally poured the sweat out. I can't be that much different in the fish costume, right? Travis says, you can do anything except ride a bicycle. I shouldn't have stayed in Thailand. I should have stayed in Thailand. Jesus Christ. I think that she's definitely thinking that right now. She's like, oh, my daughter could have been a prostitute. Now she's just a fucking merfolk.
Her lessons as a graduate student rather than swimming with a tail in the ocean or swimming pool someplace. And I said, forget it. That's a lot of money invested in tails. And she said, I'll save every money that I have and I'm gonna get my first tail.
My mother has been incredible, despite the fact that she thinks that this is an absolute ludicrous thing to do.
The best part of being a mer person is, I think, the chance to sort of live out a dream or a fantasy, be something other than who you are for a little while.
You look like a young boy wearing a fucking fin. That's what this looks like.
I've always felt really at one with the water and the ocean.
I love how children's eyes light up. I love the way that when they look at you as a mermaid, suddenly everything is possible again and that magic is real. There's no rules involved. You can do whatever it is that you want to do, and no one can tell you that it's wrong.
We live in a world where you can do whatever you want to do and nobody can tell you that it's wrong. These are the same kinds of people that make rationalizations for like abuse of children. That's kind of like this is why it disturbs me so much. It's not the fact that people do this stuff as a hobby or whatever. Like, honestly, if you're an adult, like, you do whatever the fuck you want. I really don't care. But people like this, they get a hold of kids and they try to infect them with their delusional thinking and behavior and try to normalize it in a way that is psychologically detritus to people, to human beings, especially unformed minds. Like, we know this person right here. We saw her on The Doctors. She likes to go to kids' parties and lecture them. So much so that sometimes they cry. She was bragging about that. She bragged about that. Ideologically possessed. Psychos. Psychopaths. Trauma says yes because society will shun her if she shuns her daughter. I don't know if that lady would give a shit. She seems pretty based. She seems pretty based. Travis says peer pressure is not so bad now, is it? Maybe a little bit of peer pressure is okay, right? Well, there it is. I was born different. Born different into a fish skin. What else we got here? Okay, I think we got... That was the last big video for that. Okay, so we have another one, though. The Heathen Coalition. This is another low view video. So the description of it says, the first part of this video was made in jest a few years ago, making fun of the otherkin who identify as non-human creatures. However, the more I learn about the merfolk community, the less I think they are representative of the supposed otherkin, nor have I heard any professional mermaids refer to themselves as otherkin. I've met people who study Bigfoot their whole lives, ghost hunters, those who believe in aliens, etc. So is it really that crazy that some professional mermaids believe mermaids are real, when 75% of the U.S. actually believes Jesus Christ rose from the dead and walked on water? I love that. I love that. I love the parallel that's being drawn there. Oh, it's something that's been a cultural phenomenon, a cultural institution for like, I don't know, a few thousand years, really ingrained in people. Really ingrained in people that are like, what's the difference between that and mermaids? Let's see what this person has to say. Let's see what they got to say about it. Trauma says, like the vegans who went to the pony events. Yeah, that's exactly what she's like. Travis says, yes, please equate the girl born without a jaw with someone who puts in a fake fin. That seems fair. Hindsight is 2020, my friend. There we go. All right, let's see what this lady's got to say. Probably nothing good.
Wolf said, mermaid, from French mer and Latin mare, the sea and maid.
Stop calling us mermaids. Call us merfolk or merwomen.
Mara would be woman of the sea. Far Mara in Irish, I'd be a man of the sea. A marrow, a mermaid of Ireland, technically, if you don't know. You want to be shell-clad. You don't want to be wearing a winter sweater when you're luring in sailors to drown them at the sea, okay? We want to have the clam brow. The mermen are way...
What the fuck is this? Like, this is giving me anxiety. What is going on?
different. You can tell they have scraggly green hair. They're not cute. And the Irish mermen are known for having pig eyes and red noses. There's an evil white male patriarchy under the sea, and some of them are greenish too. Selkies were Scottish, you know, the seal fur mermaid that typically they're tricked, they're grifted into staying on land, because if a mortal steals our belonging, then we have to stay on shore until we can find it. In that case, it would be the Selkie finds her fur, which was locked away and hidden from her, and then she no longer had to be the bride of the mortal. A child of the sea, or a Morgan in Gaelic.
Like, this is an awful video, and I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody still watching. This is an awful fucking video. I had no idea. M. Duffy says, call me Merwoman, please.
St. Patrick went to Ireland to drive out the snakes and the pagans in around 432 CE. Apparently, there is a mermaid saint called Saint Morgan, or Seaborn, or Child of the Sea, which is ridiculous that you would curse pagan women to be mermaids and then merely a century later start baptizing them so they could be saints or human again.
Yeah, so you could fuck them. Great Catholic tradition.
I can guarantee mermaids don't want to be baptized.
Because they refused to give up their Celtic way of life and join Christianity. You missed one, St. Patrick. What about me? Why couldn't I be turned into a mermaid? I guess I was born in the wrong century because I hate Jesus Christ. Slán go fóill, bye, as the Irish say. Hi everyone, it's Dawn of the Heathen Coalition. I started this mermaid video, what you saw at the beginning just now, a couple years ago, and
Like, I cannot tell if this is satire or if this is real. Because Hagbard says her pronunciation is shit. I agree. But I don't know if this is sincere or if this is some sort of art project troll. I don't know. I really don't know.
I couldn't get the clip to work, so now I'm just adding to it and edited a lot out. Initially, I was going to make fun of the merfolk and the otherkin who identify as mermaids. I think there's a lot of more mentally unstable people in other factions of otherkin, so I just had a problem with them misusing the term kin. But
So she wants to get into semantics, and she's just like, well, you know, there's a lot of fucked up people. I don't know if mer people are actually part of the really fucked up people. I think maybe that's just might be just the otherkin people. They think they're wolves and stuff, because that's ridiculous. But the mer people, they're pretty chill. They're pretty cool.
the more I researched, there's actually like 1,000 people in the United States that are mermaids for a living.
So this is a growing community.
I can't do it. I can't. We're bouncing out of this video. That shit is fucking. That will drive me insane. All right. Well, let's look at otherkin. Otherkin. See, now, like most otherkin videos on YouTube are people commenting about otherkins. Oh, we have a otherkin, animal people otherkin Therian documentary. Okay. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Ride or die, boys. Ride or die. We're doing it. Fuck it. We're doing it. Otherkin documentary. What does that say? Like, sub, think? I don't like that at all. Ugh.
What would you do if you felt you had been born into the wrong species?
When I started feeling that I was non-human, I was around 10 or 11.
Okay, so, like, even though this is not specifically about mermaids, I feel like we're going to hit a lot of the same metrics. We're going to hit a lot of the same things, a lot of the same observations. Travis says, it said, thanks. Thanks.
An increasing number of people believe they are more animal than human.
I would definitely say that I have species dysmorphia.
When they say there's an increasing number of people, what do they mean? Like 4 of them? Like 4 people? As opposed to 2 people? 5 people as opposed to 3? 10 people as opposed to 4? Come on.
I have these hands in this body, but internally, I am a leopard.
On all levels except physical, I am a wolf.
Oh my.
Joined by a belief system and a growing internet presence, these people are meeting and forming relationships.
We are raccoon and leopard. There's not too relevant to whether or not we love each other.
Primal instincts take over, and before you know it, you're clawing and biting your other half to pieces and wondering why the both of you are enjoying it so much.
For the first time,
this is just a step towards like fucking animals. That's all it is. These people just haven't admitted that's what they want. But these guys, they're like, hell yeah. We're just like you. We're just like you, Marmaduke.
we are welcomed into the world of human animals.
I began to get concerned because it sounded like almost like mental illness to me. My child telling me that he's half animal.
These are paperworks for my name change.
And you would be right. You would be correct. And maybe you should get, like, more involved in what they're doing on the internet. Maybe peek in every once in a while. I don't know. I don't want to push.
Change to my wolf name, which is Shiro Wolf.
I think I'm an animal.
What's he dressing up like?
In our changing world, a new subculture of humanity is evolving. These people don't believe that they are human at all. Identifying with a particular species, they are collectively known as otherkin and therians. Some choose to dress up as the species they think they are. Otherkin and therians live all over the world and share one common...
Hagrid says, remember when they used to prefer lobotomy? Yeah. Remember in the 50s, the golden age of mental health? We've all seen Shutter Island, I assume.
...belief. They think they are animals.
No, they don't actually think that. They're trying to see if you'll indulge them. That's actually what's going on. They don't actually think they're animals. They want to see how many people will indulge in their delusional behavior. A masterful troll.
People ask me, well, do you ever get sick of it? Do you ever get sick of thinking about it? Do I ever get sick of thinking about my elbow? I don't really have to think about it. It's just there. It's just a part of who you are.
Caleb Carges lives on the outskirts of Buffalo, New York. He is not your usual teenager.
My species is, definitely a wolf. Lately, I've been leaning more towards red wolf specifically.
Travis says, I'll reconsider One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest after this. Well, yeah, if they were doing that, it would be having done some good. Get this guy a Nurse Ratched.
Only because the type of environments I like, but also because of the way I act. If I could look in the mirror and choose what I saw, I would see an anthropomorphized version of myself that was half wolf, half human.
Caleb is part of the growing phenomenon of people who believe in some way that they are an animal.
We believe that mentally, or at least cognitively, we are more connected with the animal side of ourselves than we are the human side of ourselves. And
Hagrid says, I had a teacher argue that Nurse Ratched was the heroine of the book. Maybe he was right. Well, isn't it Jack Murphy? Isn't that the name of Jack Nicholson's character? He was kind of a pederast. If you want to bring it to modern social mores, like he was talking about having sex with clearly underage girls, and the pathology of his influence, really fucking with the other people. Trami says the cockroach people don't get enough attention. It's all cutesy shit.
whether that be just the way we try to act.
Randall P. McMurphy. Thank you. Thank you. I can't believe I forgot that. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say it's good old High West. Good old High West making me forget.
In our life, or the way we try to communicate with the people we love or our friends. It's something that's very noticeable. It's something that needs to be constantly purged in your head, because you constantly have to realize, oh, that's right. I think differently.
Therians identify psychologically and spiritually with an animal. And since the age of 6, Caleb has believed he is a wolf.
I have a couple tails. This is the one that I've been wearing for the most part. It's a little bit less realistic. This one's a bit more cartoony, but I like it because it's easier to manage. I used to have
if you have the self-awareness, right? Like if you have the self-awareness to know that you have a prosthetic tail that you have to apply to yourself to act out a fantasy or delusion, then you know that you're not actually that thing. You know it. You know you're not actually that thing. Unless, I guess, well, he's got the Buddha here. Maybe he's going to get into some quasi-spiritualism. Some spiritual aspect, but like, oh, I just feel it deep down inside. But if you can pull out old tails, like you swap out tails, then you know you're not really a wolf. You're not really an otherkin. That would be that's how I would contest this, I suppose.
It's a decommissioned fursuit tail.
Trummy says age 6. Yeah.
And it bothered the hell out of me because it was just inconvenient in every way. And this one's like a lot more cute and a lot more playful. So to go out in public with it, I think it fits a lot more. But it fits me and it fits my size and it has my colors. That's actually where I sleep. Right now there's a cat where I sleep, but normally that's where I sleep. And it's mostly computers in here actually. I like it quite a lot because it gets quite warm in here. And as a red wolf, I like warm temperatures.
Oh, thank God. Thank God you're not inconvenienced by the heat coming off of the computers that your parents bought for you. Travis says, no, I agree completely. Identity is not something you put on. Exactly. It's not a costume. It's not a costume. When people do this kind of stuff, they're appropriating something that they assume is an identifier of being that thing, right?
Caleb lives at home with Dad Jim, brother Chris, and his mom, Mary Ellen.
Who could have seen that coming?
Well, when you first told me about being a Therian, and you said you felt you were part animal, and you said to me, Mom, what you look at when you see me, this is not who I am. I'm actually somebody very different. I questioned if you were schizophrenic or mentally ill. And then when
you may want to keep asking those questions, Mom. You may want to delve a little deeper. Seems like they have a pretty nice house. This is the bourgeois fucking problems of the world. Honestly, I hate to put it that way, but it's kind of true. Trauma says, I feel so sorry for these parents. Yeah, because like this is like everybody's weakness. Like if you have a child, you understand how deep and dark this would be. Like you understand that. Like on a very just like a guttural level, on an emotional, genetic level, like if your kid came to you and said that, like how would you deal with it? What would your process of rationalization be? Like what would you do? And some people just fold. Some people just fold. Like she had the right instinct. Well, maybe my son has schizophrenia. Maybe he's got like deeper problems. Or maybe he's like trolling his family. I don't know.
told me that when I asked how long you had felt this way, and you told me it went all the way back to when you were around 6 years old, that you had been carrying this with you, that you really felt that part of you was this wolf.
Werewolves in
I've
London.
come to really accept it and support it. I get a little bit sad sometimes that Caleb is so involved in his own world that he seldom comes into our world.
Yeah, that's not healthy. That's not It's not something that's just like, oh well, I just don't understand him. He doesn't understand us. Systemic failure.
Caleb is not unique in his beliefs. He is part of a small Therian community of people in Buffalo. They include Stephen, a leopard, and Timothy, a raccoon. Together, they run an amateur radio show from his bedroom. It broadcasts to hundreds of people like them all around the world.
They just talk about how hard they come to furry porn.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is episode 102. I'm your host of this evening, Paradox the Wolf.
I am your blue fox host, Pharaoh.
I'm your co-host in training, Shroud the Leopard.
I'm your guest, Minnock the Raccoon.
Alright, next email that I got here. Hey guys, my name is Kobe, and I am an orange, blue, and white male German Shepherd. I am also bisexual, and I am 19 years old, and I'm having some huge...
I'm also bisexual. Oh, yeah, because dogs operate that way. Animals operate that way in the same spectrum that we do. So this is totally on the up and up. Totally not has anything more to say. Not anything deeper. Oh, no. I'm a bisexual German Shepherd. I'm a bisexual German Shepherd. Don't you get it? Travis says also he gets social leverage towards them by intentionally rejecting their norms because they have no recourse and have to yield. Yeah, 1,000%. Some of this is definitely attention getting. It's for their attention. But when they indulge in it, this is what happens. They got 4 of these dudes in a house talking to other people that they don't know, strangers on the internet, could be predators. We don't know, right? Talking about how they're bisexual German Shepherds.
Huge issues with my parents in relation to being Therian. Is there any help explaining this to them?
How did you do it?
I don't even remember.
Oh.
I just pulled down my pants and I started jerking off and I just said, I'm a leopard.
I barely touched on it because my parents just didn't care. My mom just wanted me to be safe. My dad said that I could have whatever beliefs I wanted as long as I wasn't hurting anyone.
Oh, you
or
had
hurting
it easy
myself.
too.
Yeah, it was easy.
When my mother found out, she asked me if she had done anything wrong as a parent. and I was like...
And we're all like sitting here watching this being like, yeah, I think so. I think maybe slightly, maybe just a tad.
No.
My parents always think, a live and let live type, as long as you're happy kind of people.
Right.
So as far as how I had to do it, it's not like I could offer advice from my personal experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy sounds like he's mildly autistic, which is fine, by the way. I'm not saying that to dog on him. I'm saying that because just like you can't just like indulge in the whims of people that maybe are a little askew. Is it healthy? Is this a healthy community? Is this a healthy thing to engage in? You got a kid here with a fucking dog collar on who calls himself a leopard. Do leopards wear collars? Come on now. Trami says, I think they got a point. The point around the time I put that fox-tailed butt plug up my ass. Okay, you're a fox. We get it. Please stop. Big Paul says, I had to break away during Seattle. I come back and now we're talking about bisexual German Shepherds. What in the actual fuck? Oh yeah, Nightcap always gives more than what you're expecting.
Because I had it easy.
Caleb and his friends are fortunate that they are content feeling like animals. For others, though, this is not the case.
Day-to-day life at school was a living hell in every sense of the word.
Like, for the longest time, it seemed like nobody was there.
Trami says, you try to put a collar on a leopard and I'll scoop up the remains for you for burial. Yeah, exactly. So maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just not totally on the up and up, even in their own conceptualization of what animal behavior is. Maybe because they're like 17. Brunswick, Georgia.
These are some of my wolf shirts. I've got probably over 50. This is my absolute favorite of them all, and it's one of my newer ones. It's got like the wolf in the moon, and it's the full body wolf, and it's purple. I just love it. It's beautiful.
18-year-old Matthew Schimmel lives in Brunswick, Georgia.
That's my diploma from when I graduated high school, and they had actually put Wolfie on the side of it. This is really cool. This, when I turn it on, it'll sound like a waterfall light up and the wolf will howl. It's getting there.
Yeah, this is an autistic kid. This is an autistic kid they've put on display and who has been indulged in a unhealthy behavior. This is not a good way to learn how to cope. And it's not like, like maybe he saw something on the internet or he watched a video or whatever, and it made him feel this way. He identified with it. He wanted to find a community. He wanted to fit in. And this is what we see so many times with these communities. Like, people want community. They want to be part of something. They want to be part of a group. And they'll do a lot to feel normal. They will. A lot of people will. It's a very normal human instinct. And when you have some people that are like, have autism or some sort of mental instability, it just exacerbates that. Because they can't find community or parity anywhere else. Trump says, I started drinking instead.
So yeah, I've always loved this one.
It is not just wolf memorabilia that sets Matthew apart from other teenagers.
In a personal, integral, and non-physical level, I am a wolf. It's very spiritual for me. I believe I have the spirit of a wolf. It's also very psychological. I behave like a wolf. I feel when I refer to myself, I am a wolf. Basically, other than the fact that I have a human body and human flesh, I am a wolf. I can't really give you a number of how many Therians are out there. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands in communities that I know about. And
Hundreds of thousands. Hundreds of thousands. Holy shit. Well, I guess we should, we gotta start guarding ourselves. We gotta start protecting ourselves against the incoming wolf pack.
that I'm a member of. Obviously, there's wolves. I'm a wolf. You know, cats, foxes, domestic cats, tigers, lions, flies. I've met, believe it or not, several insects.
Prof says, I believe I behave like a wolf. Press X to doubt. X. Yeah, while he's pouring his juice, perfect freeze frame for that. While he's pouring his fucking Lipton iced tea, his Lipton green tea, I act just like a wolf. Look at me now, pouring my Lipton green tea, like a wolf coming to water.
To myself, I see a black wolf on all fours walking. And that's how I want to be pictured a lot of times, because that's what I am, you know. You see me as this person, and I see myself as a wolf.
Growing up and believing something that no one else could see meant that...
Slamming down a fucking tombstone pizza. Just like a wolf out in the wild. Just like a wolf out in the wild preparing its food.
That Matthew had a tough time at school.
Day-to-day.
Oh, do you think maybe that's some of the root of this? Like Matthew mayhaps been looking for a way to differentiate himself from the people that rejected him, was way too online, was way too fucking online, like a lot of kids are, like a lot of teenagers are, and found this as a way to cope with the rejection. Because obviously we have like an autistic kid here, probably wasn't treated very well at school. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. Probably wasn't. Kids are very cruel. Kids are not understanding.
Day life at school was a living hell in every sense of the word. The only reason I survived was because of my very few close friends who I am still fiercely loyal to this day. The same loyalty a wolf would have to his pack.
I was going to make a wolf pack joke, but he did it for me. Who could have seen that coming?
Home most of the time, and my mom's at home most of the time, so...
One of those loyal friends from school is Jade,
The first thing I noticed was the tail. It was the first thing I noticed about him. And then he had a wolf shirt on.
Jade is also a wolf and instantly bonded with Matthew due to their similar beliefs.
He was the one who actually brought up Therians. And at that time, I was still kind of new to the whole concept. Like, I knew that about, me being a wolf, but I didn't know the technical term for it.
We just hang out here, really.
Yeah.
It's a nice place to go.
It's quiet.
It's quiet. You can
quieter.
meditate here. No distractions from random people, It makes me feel more connected being here because this is where I'd kind of be, in my natural environment. Well, there's more spiders over there.
It means a lot to me that, he has included me in his pack and kind of taken me in. Because, for the longest time, it seemed like nobody was there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's like
I don't normally get to do that.
It's a huge release.
Like, these are the kind of games you play when you're a kid, when you're 8, 9 years old. Like, you play games pretending you're an animal, pretending you're whatever. And it's like they just never let go of that. I mean, this kid is clearly autistic. This person, I don't know if they just feel ostracized and they want attention. So this was the most direct route on a subconscious level. I don't think they do it on purpose. On a subconscious level, is their most direct route to community, to a feeling of belonging. And that's really, at the end of the day, that's so much of what drives so many of these things, is the need to feel special, is the need to feel like an individual, while at the same time rejecting the concept of individuality. It's a very interesting dichotomy, and you see it quite a bit. You see it quite a bit when people have, misconceptions or confusions about their own identities.
Because you kind of have to bottle so much up inside when you're certain places, and you can just let it all out.
Not only
I'm just waiting for that Paul Bunyan guy from Animal Passions to come in. Just show up somewhere. Like, oh my God, what a turn on. We call them mergasms.
Limited to America, people who identify with animals live all over the world. Ben and Kimberly live on a farm in West Sussex, in the remote countryside of England. They are one of the handful of otherkin couples who are married.
So if you're an otherkin couple and you're married and you have like a relationship and part of it's sexual, do you think they bring the dogs into it? I think it's definitely a possibility. Because they would see them as peers. They would see themselves as the same thing.
Our relationship with our dog is definitely a pack relationship, much like it is with any other.
Oh, just like a pack relationship. Oh, these people are definitely fucking this dog. They're definitely fucking their dog.
Dog, really, but I think in our case it helps a lot more that we're kind of a little bit attuned to maybe the way he's thinking. He's maybe a little bit attuned to the way we're thinking. It's kind of like having a little version of us.
Ben and Kimberly feel that they share their bodies with the spirit of a wolf.
This is the drawing of Ben and myself that my friend Lorna did.
My friend Lorna did this, and as you can see here, we're with our dog Toby. And our dog Toby is in sexual congress with us, because we're all the same.
Which, as you can tell,
I don't know why I did kind of an Australian accent there, but you know what I mean.
It's just absolutely beautiful. It's so nice to have a proper representation, like that I can say to people, okay, this is what we look like. Ben on the bottom there with the blue eyes. I'm the sort of ambery-eyed wolf with the horns. For my 21st birthday.
Some fan mail. Trami says, is being in a relationship like this a bit of a case of lock-in? Yeah, probably, to a certain degree, right? Just happy to find each other. Just happy to keep each other. I know you know nobody else will ever love you, you fucking weirdo. Yeah, a little bit. Like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it's like a circular thing. I totally agree with that.
I got a tattoo, just sort of like a weird sort of silhouette of my wolf side. I love it. It's just very me, and I'll never regret it because it's my soul, basically, inked on my leg.
Ben and Kimberly have been together for 8 years and married for 2.
The second I saw him, I was just completely attracted to him, more than I had been ever attracted to anyone. It was pretty much instantaneous, you know. I just felt really drawn to him, and I made it my kind of mission to find out who this guy was and who his friends were, and I kind of maybe even stalked him a tiny bit by finding out.
Yeah. And she was like, you know, and I wanted to know, you know, what kind of dogs he was into. Oh, he was into fucking dogs. And I liked him so much, I kind of just went along with it. I wonder if that's what we're going to find out. Like, he was another kin. She was so enamored with him that she also became another kin.
Who his friends were and things like that, so...
Trami says, I will never regret it, quote unquote, is the kind of thing I've come to accept as only coming from stupid people. Hard agree.
You know, a little bit creepy, but, you know, it worked out well for me in the end.
There was just something about her that seemed right to me on a kind of a subconscious level at the time. And when we were together, we just clicked.
I need your help. All other kin and Therians have one thing that bonds them together. It's the very moment they realize they are an animal. This is a process called awakening.
Well, it came upon me around the age of 15, and as you can imagine, puberty being a difficult time for any teenager, and then you're having almost a whole nother puberty happen at the same time, and it's a frightening experience, you know, lots of new sensations and feelings that you're having to deal with.
Kimberly discovered this as a teenager. However, for Ben, the catalyst for his awakening was meeting her.
She shared her experiences with me. She listened to me more than anything, which was amazing to have someone to talk to that didn't look at you like you were a complete weirdo, and she was just...
And she's like, don't you think you were a wolf? Don't you think you're really a wolf? You're saying a lot of things that are interesting, but don't you think you might be a wolf?
Just there for me, really. I've been very fortunate to have someone with me at all times throughout it.
Ben and Kimberly's wolf sides rarely appear. However, they often come out in the bedroom.
As teenagers are, you know, we started dating and we're very, like, eager, enthusiastic, and, like, the first couple of times we walked away with a couple of battle wounds just sort of covered in bite and claw, like, really...
Very intense.
Very intense,
and a little bit scary at times.
I think it's because neither one of us had ever been with another wolf, and...
Oh, yeah, she was definitely tearing into this dude, and he doesn't know. He's like, yeah, it was very intense. Because she was, like, howling and scratching and biting.
I think it just...
Travis says, called it, Shaun. Prophet says, imagine being civilized by the Romans only to end up here 2,000 years later. Yeah. I mean, the Romans had their own proclivities, their own problems. It's all just about opulence. It's about how comfortable as a society you are, how good you have it. How good you have it. When these are concerns, things start going bad. When you want to deconstruct like culture into nothing, you start having problems. This seems like a historically proven phenomenon. Any great empire that starts engaging in basically social deconstructionism falls. Because you break social cohesion. There becomes nothing. Once it becomes mainstream, once it becomes something you push on everybody, problems start to arise.
It brought it out in each other.
Your primal instincts take over, and before you know it, you're clawing and biting your other half to pieces and wondering why the both of you are enjoying it so much. It's only afterwards when you step back and you think,
whoa, yeah,
what have we done?
Yeah.
You know, it all makes sense now.
For both of them, they see their wolf side as a separate creature. Their wolves have their own names, personalities, and feelings. Kimberly has named her wolf side Luna. Unlike others, she has the ability to change into her animal side and let Luna talk for herself.
Prophet says, gentlemen, I'm off to the great saltwater tank of my dreams. Good night, Prophet. Sleep well, and I'll talk to you Sunday. Everybody look forward to it. We're going to be talking about Brain Candy, the Kids in the Hall movie. Kids in the Hall movie and Day of the Dead, George Romero's last of his original trilogy. Those are all things coming up on Zoobox.
I normally don't let her speak because she has a bit of a mind of her own. All right, hello. Hello. Yeah, I don't get let out very often. I tend to have a bad habit of running my mouth a bit and saying things I shouldn't do, so
Oh, you don't
I tend
say.
to be kept a bit quiet. And caged is one way I tend to put it.
By Kim.
By Kim, yeah. I kind of give her a bit of hell sometimes because she doesn't let me out as much as I should be let out. Unfortunately, she has main control over this body. I've got control over the dreams, so she doesn't really have a choice about what I do there. We've definitely lived quite a few lives together, and we've lived lives on the other place as well as here. I don't know what...
Oh, yeah, just totally normal stuff. So she has a dog that she thinks is actually her, and that they have a symbiotic relationship in the sense that they split their life together. Hey now.
At what point our souls became one, but I feel that it has always been that way, and it's probably that way for a reason, so perhaps there's something we need to achieve or we need to accomplish.
Ben and Kimberly fully accept that they have the spirit of a wolf within them. However, for Ben's mom, Sue, she is only beginning to understand her son's animal side.
I'm not saying all of my friends, but a lot of my cattle friends would think that completely bizarre. And they wouldn't even look any further than, you know, that the pair of them would need help.
Yeah, but what's wrong with thinking that these people need help? Like, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that assumption? Like, you don't need to placate them. You could say, like, I love you. You're my son. You're my daughter. Whatever. I'll always love you. But let's go talk to somebody maybe. Big Paul says, you know what? At least there were some merfolk worth looking at. These wolf folk, no dice. They're normies. They're normies. They're not beautiful Ariels.
Kimberly live on the farm with Ben's mom, Sue. She has only recently been told about the couple's wolf sides.
I don't think she was worried that she was going to get a bad reaction from me, but she's worried that, as Ben is, I think, that I'm going to think they're a little odd, you know. And they, you know, especially Kim, I mean, she's into all sorts of things, so it didn't really surprise me. But with Ben, it did a little. But Ben is a very deep guy, so a lot of the time I don't know what's going on in his head, really, so...
Sue has seen firsthand the impact that Kimberly has had on Ben.
I thought, really? And then I think you have sort of mixed emotions because you think, oh, where is it coming from? Is that something to do with me as a mum, you know?
Yes. Yes, it is, unfortunately. This is the thing all parents have to face, right? You have to understand that your kids are a product of the environment that you brought them up in and the product of your influence or non-influence in some respects. That doesn't mean you have control over everything. People go where they're going to go. Kids have proclivities. They go in directions you don't understand, aren't aware of, but you're definitely part of it. You're not some observing actor. Charlie said, can farmers in England get industrial-sized copium flasks? And Big Paul says, I just spit out my drink.
The couple are preparing for their annual Halloween party.
For my Halloween party, I'm making it look like kind of a abandoned asylum kind of thing.
They are not only fortunate to have each other, they also have a group of accepting friends.
Yeah, Josh was there when I awakened. Yeah, Josh is one of the few people I had to talk to about it.
It sounds really ridiculous, but it just came up in conversation. With certain circles, this stuff just comes up. You don't even expect it to come up, it'll just come up in conversation, and you're just like, yeah, sure, why not? On the internet, everyone is quite happy to talk about it. I guess it's a lot easier to talk about something when you don't have to stare someone in the eyes.
Ben is preparing to let his wolf side out as he dresses up as his favorite character, Wolverine.
I've chosen to go as Wolverine, one, because I like the character. I think he's fantastic. I've been a big fan of
I couldn't tell by your facial hair there, buddy.
the X-Men, and also I think probably on a kind of subliminal level to myself, because he somewhat matches my other kin side. I like his independence, his devil-may-care attitude, the fact that he's, you know, alone a lot of the time. He's a big, strong, powerful character. Slot in between Knuckles.
So they have such levels of self-awareness about why this develops in them and why they identify and why they think the way they do when it comes to like the surface level stuff, these surface level kind of intimations. But they have no regard for like anything deeper than that. Anything deeper than that. No introspection. I mean, maybe it's because they're so young. And people have just mollycoddled them up to this point. I don't know.
3 on each fist. Cheap, low budget.
The Halloween party allows the couple to dress up and express their animal sides. It provides a rare opportunity to celebrate this with their friends.
Yeah, it feels good to be Wolverine, you know, just kind of letting myself go.
See, this guy is not fully committed. He's not fully committed. Like, his girlfriend, now his wife, really was into this. Like, she was like, no, I'm a wolf. And he's, like, dressing up like Wolverine at Halloween parties to cope with that. Like, to try to find a way in. To try to make him feel like, yeah, I'm like that too. I'm like that too. I want to dress like Wolverine. Like, Wolverine's a comic book character, and you think you're a wolf. And you're your wife. Ooh. Clearly has something else going on.
Beginning to get into character a little bit. Yeah, it's good.
I was going to say,
18-year-old Matthew Schimmel believes that he is more wolf than human. While most teenagers his age enjoy hanging out at the mall, Matthew enjoys shopping at the local pet store.
I used to have one kind of like this one,
Ugh.
but it was bigger and it had reflective paw prints going on it. It doesn't look like they have the reflective kind. I used to love those. And these ones I really like just because they're so much bigger. It doesn't really feel strange buying them. A lot of times people don't even notice. They just think, oh, he probably has a dog.
Yeah, no shit, dude. Do you think most people think that they're in there sizing up collars for themselves? No. They don't. Where's your mother?
Matthew is the youngest of 4 children and lives at home with parents Joe and Terry.
I know for me, I remember as a kid wanting to be a lion or wanting to be the biggest, strongest animal I just saw at the zoo, so I thought maybe some of that type of childhood fantasy stuff was going on.
Big Paul says, this right here is how you know this stems from abuse. The collar is a sign of submission.
In the early beginning. But it wasn't too long after that he started getting into the spirit of a wolf and
Big Paul says, wolves don't leash up, buddy. They don't do it. It's not done. Not in the wolf community.
Going in a little deeper. Part of me said, okay, this is the nonsense for the week. Next week he'll be into something else. I don't know how serious I took it when he first said it, so it was not a huge shock to the system. As it kept continuing, you get used to the idea, and okay, so my son thinks he's got the spirit of a wolf at first, and now it's a little more than that. As the years go by, you kind of learn to...
Yeah, it's like you kind of, you've gaslit yourself into accepting something that your son just kind of puts out there, because probably for much deeper reasons. It's a little weird. I mean, maybe they did privately, you know, it's just, this is what they're saying for the cameras. But, like, maybe they did privately, like, a little bit more looking into this. Their son also seems like he's very much on the spectrum. I mean, come on now. Amir just followed. Thank you. Hey, what's going on, Amir? Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it.
Accept, okay, this is who he is, this is how he deals with it. It's not up to me to like it or not anymore.
Well, we knew from the time he was a baby there was something different about him. In a walker, as a little tiny thing, he would go to the doors because his first obsession was doors. And I mean, it was not like your normal child, spank their hand, say no, and it would be an all-day job to try to keep him out of the cabinet doors.
At the age of 6,
so that means wolf. That means wolf. This kid could not be contained.
Matthew was diagnosed with Asperger's.
He sat and watched.
Oh, no way. No way. No way. You know, my son told me today that he was Batman, and that my wife was Barbara Gordon, and that I was Commissioner Gordon. So, you know, giving me a lot to think about.
Watched me redo a hard drive. Once. A couple of hours later, my wife walked in and reloaded all the data and whatever, and he redid the hard drive himself. That was the first time reality really hit me that, okay, we're not just older and don't remember how the other kids were. That was the first time I said, okay, he's going to be different.
Because while we do feel the pull of our Therian sides, and we are raccoon and leopard,
63 Stela song, please. I don't know what that is because I'm an old man and I watch weird internet videos. I am from Turkey. You know what? I will look that up for the end of the stream. I could definitely do that.
Ultimately, we are still human, as much as we don't want to admit that. Whatever species we feel we are identify with is not too relevant to whether or not we love each other.
Just cool bros walking down the street.
In Buffalo lives a small community of Therians who run an amateur radio show. Stephen is one of the hosts.
We're going to...
I was told he was a host in training. I didn't know he was elevated to host status. Thank you very much.
My workplace. It's a little computer repair shop about 15 minutes away. All I do is I get in, fix computers, and interact with customers.
Stephen is an IT technician and keeps his work and private life separate.
I don't really feel like I can be myself at work. I have to put on a very professional attitude and look, and if I do anything that involves Therian, it really breaks the professional side of things. It's very difficult for someone to be themselves and also continue that life. All of normal life is a very strange and abstract feeling. Everything is structured very differently compared to the wilderness.
Stephen believes he is an African leopard and likes to go by his leopard name, which is Shroud. He has strong feline traits.
Ah, yes, the traditional African name of Shroud. Amir says, can you turn on your music with 63 Stela, please? Yeah, I will at the end of the stream, dude. I'm watching a video. I'm not going to just like fucking turn on a dime because you showed up. Apologies, but that's not how it works.
And likes to run and hunt.
Climbing and running and stuff it's very natural. It's very instinctual. So when I'm climbing up a tree or something and I lay down on the branch, it's pretty close to what I remember.
His leopard side is based on a series of intense memories.
When I was little, I had a lot of smaller memories, usually of laying on a tree branch or sitting on a rock and looking out across the savannah. And this was before I even knew what the savannah was, before I'd even seen a photograph or a video.
Yeah, he just had visions. He just knew. He just felt it deep inside. So he got this beanie and stitched these ears onto it before he knew anything.
Externally, I am a human being. I have these hands and this body, but internally, I am a leopard. I have the mannerisms and the behaviors, the thoughts, and the memories of an African leopard. I don't consider myself human at all, other than my body. I see my body as more of a vessel that doesn't match what I really have inside.
Stephen lives in Buffalo, where a small community of Therians have gathered. It is one of the reasons he moved here. Through the internet, he has met hundreds of people who believe that they are also animals. He now lives with one himself, Timothy, a raccoon.
That's my...
How do a leopard and a raccoon coexist? Like, if they're following the rules of the animal kingdom, if this guy thinks he's really a leopard and this guy really thinks he's a raccoon, how could they possibly coexist? That leopard's going to eat that raccoon. Maybe he does. Wink.
A plushie net, stuffed animals, plushies, various stuffed animals I've collected over the years. Some I've had since childhood, some I bought in the past few years.
Timothy is not just a raccoon. He is also Stephen's partner.
We've been together for 4 years.
Almost. Oh God, I'm being hugged. I've known you for 4 years. It hasn't been 4 years since we've been together yet.
Oh yeah, pretty close.
He's like, it took a year before I stuck my dick inside you, leopard. Come on now.
Like
in February.
3 months away?
There's no raccoons in Africa. And I'd imagine that...
Oh yeah, look at this beautiful artwork they have. Oh yeah. They blurred it out. They blurred out the fact this raccoon has a giant heart on. Oh yeah.
In the wild, a raccoon might be prey.
Yeah, we get along just fine. There's no real like predator prey relationship or anything. We're just normal people when it comes to that.
Because while we do feel the pull of our Therian sides, and we are raccoon and leopard, ultimately we are still human, as much as we don't want to admit that half the time. We are still human, so we still, whatever species we feel we are identify with is not too relevant to whether or not we love each other.
Their dream is to one day create a commune for like-minded people.
Big Paul says, oh, so you're saying it's lame sex. Got it. Yeah, they can't even really tear into each other, apparently. This level of self-awareness indicates to me that they actually don't believe what they say.
A safe haven where Therians can live and be together.
The normal ways of living are kind of constraining, and one of the influencing factors of leaving home is so I could be with people who share the same beliefs and culture as me. A lot of people who grow up in highly religious areas are shunned or persecuted or just generally downright looked down upon because of their Therian side, and a lot of them end up fleeing toward better areas with good friends, and that's where they spend their lives.
I did feel alone before I found Therian communities. I never had very many friends growing up. I was always viewed as strange for various reasons, mannerisms. The way I talk even, people found to be weird. But finding a group of people who, in some way, society found strange, they're incredibly accepting people. And I felt immediately at home.
To further connect with his leopard side, Stephen likes spending time in the African section of the local zoo.
Oh my God.
You know, that I remember. That's very recognizable.
Yeah, it's very recognizable to see animals from Africa, not in Africa, and indulging in an environment that's also not anything like Africa. I remember that. I feel it deep inside my otherkin bones.
It's because when they're on the savannah, they don't actually hide.
He spotted us.
Yeah, he spotted your raccoon ass. He wants to eat you, buddy. He said, what's that? What's that leopard doing with that raccoon? The proud lion does not agree.
Spotted.
Trauma says, yes, they are accepting because it's a back-rubbing situation. You indulge them, they indulge you.
Hi, kitty. It's almost like knowing someone in a distant extended family. These gems back here, they were exactly as I remembered them in my memory. The memory of hunting and attacking one of them. It's very weird. It's like killing someone then meeting their family. It's almost awkward. I know it was a separate life or some separate entity or separate connection or something, but it's still very awkward. The past life memories are very real to me. They're as real as all the other memories.
You can't even handle being around what would potentially be food. It's like, this is awkward. They know. I know. I'm going to have to go home and eat a McDouble and jerk off and think of being a leopard.
I have. It's almost unsettling to be here and look at them, but at the same time, it's yet another link, another connection to the inside, and another way to bring the memory back a bit.
The group in Buffalo don't just identify with being animals, they also dress up as them.
Last year, I was like, okay, what's the...
Some wear tails and collars, and
Others do
wear
not.
entire fursuits. It is a subculture within the community called furry.
Oh, wow. This must be an older doc. They don't know what we know.
Month, they meet up
Big Paul
to
says
express
furries.
their animal sides.
It's kind of about taking everything that, like, Therians
only
might
a
be
matter
into,
of time.
except furries are more social with it, so we kind of connect more and we hang out and we do fun things. And we act like crazy, and we make other people laugh.
There's a lot of similarities between furry and Therian. It's all about anthropomorphics, which is anything between human and animal. I usually just wear my collar and my tail and sometimes my ears. I just let myself go, let myself be free, and I fit in with the community perfect.
Outside of the community, not everyone is as understanding.
Yeah, we get a lot of strange looks. We're just kind of bizarre and eccentric. Some people want us to stay away because we're different. Some people love our antics, find us hilarious and really cute.
The negative reception is that they just leave us alone and walk away. The positive reception is that they want to know more about it. There's really nobody who directly says anything negative. There's just people who can't. You can tell that they just don't like it, they can't handle it, so they move away.
In Brunswick, Matthew acts and feels like a wolf. However, this is not enough. Now he is 18, he's making a decision that will affect him for the rest of his life.
I honestly hate that he wants to change his name. He's been talking about this for years.
He's an adult, he can do this without our permission, so it's a battle I can't fight anymore.
Well, I don't know. You might be able to do something. Baller.
In Brunswick, Georgia, Matthew has been waiting for his 18th birthday to fulfill one major wish. It is something that would make him feel truly like an animal.
I haven't liked my name since I was in elementary school, and the reason being, I've just never liked the way it sounded.
Now that Matthew is 18, he has the right to change his name to his wolf name.
This is my signature, well, the one I use whenever I can. When I change my name, I'm going to use it everywhere. That's my paw print, and that says Shiro Ulv right under it. It's actually a mix between Japanese and Norwegian, and it means white wolf.
Yeah, a mix between Japanese and Norwegian. Very Animal Kingdom-like. You know what I mean? Like, very Animal Kingdom-like. Travis says, or not everyone lives on the internet. He's going to take wolf hormones?
Despite Matthew's determination, his parents are less enthusiastic. They are concerned
I don't know why.
it could hold him back.
Well, he may have a scholarship to Georgia Tech. I'm hoping that changing his name doesn't affect that at all. And I've explained this to him, but, you know, he's an adult. He can do this without our permission. So
let me cut up your chicken nuggets and your fish sticks, my boy.
It's a battle I can't fight anymore.
You sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
Better be thinking ahead because you're going to need to have a birth certificate. If that name is going on your college application, you're going to have the birth certificate match it. You're going to have to send off for one. I honestly hate that he wants to change his name. He's been talking about this for years.
Yeah, I filled in my forms for my name change.
So do you have a middle name?
Yeah.
What?
Themian.
Themian?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Believe it or not, it doesn't mean anything. It's literally a name that came to me.
In a dream. It came to me in a dream. Trami says, my parents had reservations when I was going to change my name to Yosef Amin Goebbels. But did I let that stop me? I think not. Big Paul says, a battle I can't fight anymore. Translation, goddammit, I can't wait till he's out of the fucking house.
Like in my head.
The name sounds so strange. You know, White Fang was a better name to me because at least it was something I heard of, which was a wolf story when I was a kid.
And it's really straightforward, unless you're, it even says on all the legal sites, unless you're changing your name to a number or something obscene, they never get rejected.
He asked, would I be okay with him changing his name? And I said, I can't stop you. I guess I can live with it, but no, I don't like it.
Today is a defining moment for Matthew.
I'm feeling excited, I'm finally doing this, we're here. It's very exciting. It means I'm a wolf, officially.
Oh, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. It just means you changed your name. It doesn't mean you're a wolf. Oh, my God.
Despite his parents' worries, he is adamant that this is the right thing for him.
Honestly, I just feel bad for this kid. And I feel bad for his parents. Like, what the fuck do you do in that situation? What do you do? Where do you track back your failure as a parent? Where do you track it back to? How long did this go on? How long did you indulge in a fantasy so that he wouldn't feel bad about himself? Worthy questions. Travis says it's kind of sad. Yes. No, it really is. It's sad for everyone involved.
Yes, I finally got it done. I have my forms right here that I need to bring to the newspaper, and everything else is done.
In order to make the process legal, Matthew must finally submit a request to the local paper.
Hi, how are you? I'm submitting the form to change my name from Matthew Schimmel to Shira Wolf.
Yeah, see if you like.
Okay.
Hold on, you want to change your name to what? To what? Is this a paw print?
I truly believe that names have a lot of effect on things, even though you try not to be. You get preconceived ideas. You hear some names and you think, oh, must be kind of nerdy. But then
oh, he must be black. Oh, he must be Chinese.
You hear Shiro and you think, what is that? I mean, you can't even put like a nationality or anything with that to me.
Shiro is S-H-I-R-O.
Yes.
And
I told him I'd be okay with it, but yeah, it really bothers me. But,
yeah, why wouldn't it bother you? That's your legacy. That's your child. That's the proliferation of your own last name. Of course it should bother you.
The ultimate goal is his happiness.
What is happiness? What is happiness, and how far are you willing to take that? What is actual happiness? And have you done him a favor? Or did you set him back? What a fucking awful position to be put in. What an awful fucking position to be put in.
I don't say anything because they believe that this is okay. But I think they're going to find out on their own that things can become very, very complicated.
We don't care.
Yeah, see, she knows. She's like, this is probably not going to end well for them. Once you get out there in the real world, people are not going Not going to cater to this kind of bullshit. So what are you doing, Mom? Why would you fucking set them up for failure? But then at the same time, like, what the fuck do you do? What do you do? What do you do? What the fuck do you do? I really don't know. I don't have a good answer.
As long as we are happy with each other, that's all that matters.
We just do our own thing.
In Buffalo, New York, live a small community of people who believe that in some way they are an animal. They live together, hang out together, and have formed close relationships with each other.
Trami says you're fucked, basically. It does kind of seem like that. You're in an impossible position. If you can't get through to them with some sort of rational argument, I don't know. I don't know what you do. This poor bastard right here, sucked into the orbit of the raccoon and the African leopard.
Caleb, Stephen, and Timothy have fully immersed themselves within this community.
Because that's what they do. They encourage each other. They indulge each other in a way that nobody else does in their fantasies.
And their relationship together is not conventional.
When I first met these guys, me and Shroud really hit it off, and we had a connection, and we were never limited in that connection because you were so graceful and just everybody being together. And then we kind of ended up realizing...
Oh, so this is a fuck party. This is a fuck train. A bunch of gay kids just fucking each other. That's what this is. Oh, okay. Well, something has been elucidated.
Realizing that all three of us is what really made the environment, and when it was just me and him, it wasn't really, as fun to be around each other.
They are in an open, polyamorous relationship.
Yep.
Meaning that they can have multiple partners, whilst also being together.
I've never really been the monogamous type. I've been in monogamous relationships before, but each and every one of them was destroyed by jealousy. Stupid, petty jealousy. And then I got into a relationship that was more open on my then boyfriend's side. He was very open, very, very polyamorous.
Yeah, my then boyfriend's side on it, he decided like, oh well, he wanted to fuck other people, and I had in the past, I had dealt with jealousy. And that's what's ruined all those relationships, all these fucking young hormonal relationships. So obviously, like, if he wants to fuck this other dude, he's an African leopard, okay? He doesn't have the mind of a raccoon. He doesn't have the mind of a raccoon. African leopards, sometimes they want to be with wolves. They want to be with wolves.
And he pried it out of me. And the more and more he...
Oh, he pried it out of you, huh? He pried out the polyamorous nature. Oh, yeah. Oh my God, you poor fucking raccoon. You poor son of a bitch.
Showed me it, the more and more I realized, like, oh, I don't have to be jealous because there's nothing here to be jealous about.
It's something that works for us. It's not something that works for everybody. There's no way it ever will.
Exactly.
It's just something that solves the problem for us. And we've worked with it for years.
As far as how it developed between us, it's just obviously we shared similar viewpoints, similar...
Travis says, male leopards aren't social animals either, are they? Big Paul says, sounds like someone is bad at clenching. M. Duffy, I'm back, baby. Fill me in. Well, fill you in. These guys are filling each other. That's what's going on.
Similar spirituality, similar philosophies on life, and we just kind of meshed, and since we weren't limiting ourselves, since I wasn't saying, Shroud's mine, you can't have him, it just kind of developed. Just like any other relationship. If anything, we think it's just a pile of people having sex. No, there's love, damn it. If sex happens, it happens, but there's love. We can be with other people, we have other relationships, we have other partners. It can get complex, it can be simple, it can be whatever.
But I guess what the idea behind our relationship especially is no matter what culture will say a relationship is or isn't, or how it should.
Travis says, shit, making the same jokes. Too much Nightcap. Yeah, I think we're all on the same wavelength.
Should or shouldn't be, what's acceptable or what's not, we don't care. As long as we are happy with each other, that's all that matters.
We just do our own thing.
I see in the furry community, they boast about, having the polyamorous, but it really ends up being a lot more complicated than they think, and there's been a lot of hurt. I've seen Caleb in relationships and out of relationships, and I see them struggle with it. And there's a lot of drama to it because they're young people.
No shit.
But I don't say anything because they believe that this is okay. But I think they're going to find out on their own that things can become very, very complicated.
It's okay to be a voice. It's okay to be a voice of reason. You can. There's gradations. There's ways to do it where you can say like, listen, this is not gonna be easy. This is gonna be. This even could be painful for you. Well, you know what I'm saying, but it could be painful for you emotionally. It's okay to, like, as a parent, give advice to guard against that. You don't need to indulge them and be like, oh, they'll figure it out on their own. Everybody figures a lot of things out on their own. That does not, like, mean that you don't have a responsibility as the adult in the room to fucking say something.
Wolf couple Ben and Kimberly live on a farm in West Sussex in England. They live with Ben's mum, Sue, who is only now discovering about the couple's animal side.
I mean, obviously...
How long have they lived with Ben's mum?
This is all very new to me, but, I mean, so when did you start having these feelings?
When I was 3... When I was 3, I wanted to be like Wolverine.
As early as Kim, or later, or earlier?
Thinking about it, probably a little bit early before Kim, but not really realising what it was at the time. I just kind of pushed it all back and forgot about it.
What did you think it was? I mean, what?
I had absolutely no idea. And your brain doesn't really kind of comprehend things like that. It just ignores it and kind of copes with it.
These people are so desperate for validation that they agreed to be on a television show, on a documentary about their disorder. Like, that's how delusional they are about what they're doing. It reminds me of the zoophiles. The zoophiles, right? The animal passions people. Like, so delusional, thinking they're doing something good. They're educating people. They're educating communities about this disposition, about this way of life. Trami says, Ben's mom was so lonely after the husband passed away that she was okay with anything. Big Paul says, their British accents make it sound worse. It makes it seem like so much like distant and colder. Oh, when did you start thinking about this, mate?
And then when I was around Kim, she was doing much the same things. I thought, well, that must have been something.
Yeah.
And then those feelings start cropping up again. Then kind of becomes very evident that there's a reason for it, as opposed to you're just going crazy.
If I had those feelings,
you may be going crazy.
Wouldn't say to me that somebody else was driving me. What makes you think it is this inner spirit within you?
I can hear it, I can feel it, and I just know it's there. It's like...
Yeah, while we have this perfectly civil meal, eating food like a human being, let me tell you something. If I had my way, I'd be ripping into those goats. I'd be ripping into those cows with my wolf-like fangs. With my instincts, I'd be out on the hunt. If you hadn't made me my dinner, Mom, oh boy, the countryside... Watch out. Watch out.
See it?
It's faith.
Do you see it? Well, yeah.
I mean,
you talk about faith. I mean, I have faith, but I don't ever feel that I have somebody speaking to me. But you are convinced that it is a spirit, and a spirit within you, as opposed to just you having these feelings.
Well, it's exactly the same, just I don't voice it as much as everyone else does.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to understand it, sweet, that's all.
It's a very difficult thing to try and explain. You've just got to take it on good faith, really.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're a lie. I'm just trying to understand it, really, Or, it's not an easy thing to understand, obviously.
It's weird, though, because it's so normal for us now.
Well, yeah. obviously a lot of people would not think you were normal.
Oh, yeah, but...
Travis says, power to her asking questions. I mean, actual questions. Yeah, she's trying to... I don't even know if she's trying to understand or doing like sort of that Socratic method of questioning, trying to get them to see things from her perspective and maybe come to a conclusion. So many times with people like this, you got to convince them that it's their idea. It's their idea.
I'm not saying all of my friends, but a lot of my cattle friends would think that completely bizarre. And they wouldn't even look any further than, you know, that the pair of them would need help.
For many Therians and other kin, believing something that nobody else can see creates its own unique problems.
It's very annoying that other people can't see how I feel, not just on a Therian level, in general. I think and feel so differently from most people and they don't really understand it.
Finding the community, I think, was the first time I ever had friends who were like me, people who wanted to do the same things as me, people who want...
You mean group gay sex? You had to become an otherkin to hook up with two dudes at the same time?
Wanted to communicate the same way as me, people who were just interested in the same facets of life.
It's not something that we choose, it's something that you're born with, essentially. You discover...
Oh my God.
As you get older, it's something that you discover that it's a part of yourself.
I feel very different. I feel extremely different. I feel like I just don't belong with the crowd.
I don't know how to explain how I feel. I know I'm different and I'm making no attempt to change it. I mean, a lot of people are different, but, you know, I just like who I am, you know.
And there you have it, everybody. Well, I think that's about a stream. We will honor our request. Okay, so 63 Stela, who dropped into the chat, we're gonna listen to his rap. Then we're going to bid everybody adieu. I've had about enough. I've had enough.
Budist Bay Mardinli serseri ve tayfası tarafından ananızın
So this is what that guy was spamming in the chat to listen to.
amına armağan olsun orospu çocukları. 60 sidayla anana gol sopası koyarım. Deliyi tutturmak için amını oyarım. Memeleriyle beatbox yaparım. Başını tutsam amına koyarım. 60 sidayla rotary de geldi bacının eteğini dalıp da deldi Kurdişkaya cal sana lavi küçük karaba veteni ve karar rotary de vakşeratını kuzi.
Okay, so some of the English translation here is 63 style. I'll shove a golf stick up your mother. I'll carve up her anus to get a good shot of it. I'll beatbox with her tits. If I get a hold of your sister, I'll shove it up her pussy. 63 style came, dived into a pierce your sister's skirt. Kurdish will slide to you. Your donkey's dog's son will fuck your dad like a donkey. Rotary is like lions. Will come and fuck your mother and your sister's pussies with the dick of a donkey. 63 style, voila. I'll slide into your mother. A full Curtis here will shove it up your sister's Viren City Bela. Will fuck your mother in the grave under the ground. Marderni Cersei will shove it up your sister, your mother, by driving them mad. Is there any more? 63 style, I'll put a horse cock on your mom. If I need to, I'll ride your sister and whip her. Sand in the sea. Midgey in your mother. I'll eat your midgey, digesting it 35. 63 style, I'm a full curd. The nephew of Varen City Bella. I'll shove your head back to where it came from. Son of a bitch, if you insult me again, you know what? I'll fuck your regiment, Ian. Sons of bitches. Well, just in case you were wondering what was going on.
cete khota bekire kara 63 style'a anana kayacan valla tam bir Kürt burada sokacak bacına bir an stili bela sikecek ananı toprak altı mezarda Mardinli serseri bacına sokacak ananı hatıra hatıra Ulan orospu çocukları Mardinli serseriye diz mi attınız başınıza büyük bir bela açtınız analarınız orada burada olmuş fahişe.
So just know these guys are down in this basement and from Turkey talking about all of the disgusting things they'll do to your mom, to your dad, to your whole family, because they're bosses. They're 63 Stela.
Sonra getiririm biz de sikelim para kazandıralım size 63 Stela senin ananı bacını karını kızını halanı teyzeni dayını dedeni nineni kundaktaki bebeni emesen arkadaşını hüryetini cüryetini ilimini bilimini dilimini bir an stili bela anana kayarak siksin 63 Stela azı kuzi diyata futbol topu tekme azı şüdde.
Travis says it was like an aristocrat skit. That's the perfect way to put it. It really is.
Bavik 90 قلم القزي ديتا خواتن يولاوي كوچكو كراتو چوا قرش روتاري ده ده ابي قزي خواتنم tam bir körtün damene abi قزي خواتو جتنه bir an stili bela bacına soksu Şu style anana at yarrağı koyarım gerekirse bacına biner olta atarım denizde kumananda milye yerim o milyeyi sindiresin.
Well, we really fell off there. Now we're getting too serious. All right. Well, that's going to be a stream, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to Tarami. Thank you to Hagbird, especially, for giving us the inspiration, the spark that started the night off. Thank you to the new people, M. Duffy, and whoever else was here. I know a few other names. Amir, thank you to you for that Stela 63. Oh, my God. What would we have done? What would we have done? But, yeah, we'll see you guys next time. We'll be back Monday night on D-Live. And if you want to catch the replay of this, check out our Odyssey channel. It's going to be on Odyssey. It's going to be super fun, super cool. So if you missed any of the hot action, the hot mermaid, hot otherkin action, that's where you'll be able to find it. And we'll talk to you next time. Good night. Adios.
Creature of